Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about?
That.
Sorry, I just a photo just popped on the screen. We're gonna be talking about this later, and it's
Yeah.
RFK in that pool.
Oh,
Like he's
jeez.
happy as shit. That's our
Happy as
photo.
shit. Yeah.
That's our photo for the episode.
Yes.
It just
Yes.
popped up. I gotta save this because this shit. He is like happy. He's literally a pig and shit.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. What?
Oh, I was gonna say for if you haven't seen that photo, if you he took his family to frolic in a pond that has been known to be contaminated with fecal matter.
Well, we'll be talking about that later.
Yes.
Well, don't give away all the.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we're going to talk about. What are we talking about this week, Joseph?
We're talking about Andor. We saw now all the episodes of
Andor on
Andor.
golf.
And all of them have been released, but we just saw the first one, episode 10 tonight. Even though 11 and 12 are out, we watched 10, and then we're gonna do
Usually we
this.
record this later. So we used to record these on Wednesday.
Yes.
But I'm a big comedian now. And
Yeah.
there's like open mics on Wednesday and I want to do them. And the next Gilbert Gottfried. I figured he's dead. I could just go out there and say, I'm the new Gilbert Gottfried on stage. And what are they
Yeah.
gonna do? What are they gonna do? Their state gonna go after me?
Right.
And I don't sound like him. I do no jokes like him.
Yeah.
Nothing. I just tell people I'm the new Gilbert Gottfried.
So yeah, we used to do it on Wednesday. So then we switched to Thursday, but I have an event Thursday that I'm doing. So now we're doing it on Tuesday, kind of a short notice.
Joseph, event is code for sex party at his cult that he joined.
Yes.
Cult.
Yeah.
They worship a head of lettuce. That's a plot from What's Happening.
That's funny. When one of the best nights my wife and I ever had, we were in Key West. We used to go to Key West all the time when we lived in Florida. We'd go 3-4 times a year, spend a weekend there or whatever. And we went one night to a drag show in Key West, and the lead performer that night, her stage name was Head of Lettuce.
Weird name for a drag queen.
It was. There's some other ones that night, but Head of Lettuce.
Wear like a green wig or something.
I think it was that Hedda Gabe. Who's the famous like actress? Hedda Gabe Gabler.
Heather Gobbler.
Hedda.
The guys on the couch, the producers used to call it, hey, get Heather Gobbler in there.
Well, Hedda Lettuce was the drag queen. It was such a really, really funny show. So anyway, we're gonna talk about Andor, the first of the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, so that's why we're only talking about the first one. Time. So
yes.
3 in. So
we're gonna talk about The Last of Us, the most recent episode of The Last of Us.
Yep.
The most recent episode of The Handmaid's Tale. There's only 2 episodes left of that.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna shift to some serious things. Trump's rampant corruption.
It's like ridiculous. It's like beyond
comically.
It is it's like what the fuck? He gets away with everything. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
We're talking about Stephen Miller talking about getting rid of habeas corpus, which is really, that's an odd one. We're talking about those West Virginia legislators who we're going to talk about these West Virginia legislators. I don't want to give away because the news story itself is the punchline. And then we're talking about RFK. So it might be a shorter one tonight. Because we haven't
the week is new to us. It hasn't fermented yet. We haven't gotten enough gross stories to come in. We didn't finish Andor. And
Trump has only committed 40% of his crimes this week.
Yeah, we're only 40% of the massive, which 40% of his crimes this for just Monday and Tuesday.
Yes.
Is like 10 times more than any president has ever committed.
Right.
So
Yeah. It is okay. So anyway,
There's always that joke about Nixon. Like he's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
right.
Like I got kicked out because we robbed
Bill
a hotel room
Clinton,
and found nothing,
Bill
like
Clinton got impeached for like
a
basically a
blowjob.
consensual affair. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
no, not excusing that. I mean, that was untoward, but yeah. Anyway, so
Boys will be boys.
yeah. Woof. Anyway, so we watched the first episode of Andor tonight, which I thought like no look, episode 8 was it of Andor was amazing. And up until now I thought episode 8 was kind of the high point
Oh,
of the
the
season.
did they Mon Mothma hasn't, it's no spoilers yet, but Mon Mothma hasn't showed up yet so far. But
Right.
episode 8 was the like get her to Yavin basically, like
Yes.
out of there alive. Um, there's these people took like screenshots of her face, like when she's
Yeah.
with Andor running and her mouth's like gaping. They're like, this is clearly gonna be a new meme. She's just
Yeah.
like every picture, it's like it's really funny.
Well, I thought, excuse me, I thought episode 10, which was the first of the last 3 episodes, I thought that was amazing. I thought it was really, really, and oddly, Andor was not in it. I don't think he
Right.
was in it at all. And it
No,
was
he's not in
just,
the. He's not in the. It was a Luthen based episode,
yes,
and what's the woman's name that works with him?
I don't remember. I'm gonna look that up now. Both of them were great. The Luthen and the
Well, that other woman's in it too, the Imperial lady.
yeah, Deidre.
Yeah.
She was so horrible. This
Oh,
up and
you haven't seen shit yet.
up until now, she was
No, no.
like,
You actually, I don't want to ruin it. It's not what you think.
all right. Well, okay, so
Is
Clayla
it?
is the girl's name.
Oh yeah, Clea Markey, played by Elizabeth Duel. So you basically find out she wasn't just like some employee of his. She basically was like
His adopted daughter to
kind of,
some
kind of.
extent. Yeah.
Well, I liked when he said to her, he's like, "Yeah, you're my daughter when it's convenient. Like,
Yeah.
you need it." Like, there's like this partnership or something. But clearly, he cared for her. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, yeah.
And
So
clearly she cared for him. I
it takes
mean,
place clearly the beginning of the episode. Well, you see like a flashback. The beginning of it though was what's her face showing up in the at the Deirdre showing up at the art store or whatever, the gallery.
yeah. Deidre, well, the thing is, Luthen is about to escape. Because he knows the jig is up.
Yeah.
He kills the informant. He is
Well, the
planning.
informant is this guy, the Imperial, and he's got like red hair.
Yep.
See if I could find his name. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, he was like the informant, and yeah, he had like red hair, or whatever, like a mustache,
Yeah.
and you find, yeah, in the first season, you find out that he was giving Luthen stuff, but Luthen killed him, which was kind of fucked up. But at the same time, I was thinking like, oh, that's fucked up. Like he killed the guy after years of like him.
Yeah. Putting himself
But
at great risk.
but at the same time, he could have also figured that he was still a loose cannon because he kept on asking where Yavin was or
Yeah.
what Yavin is, and that's probably why he killed him because it was probably like, oh, okay,
I think
this
so.
is
And I
gonna
also think
backfire.
it fits perfectly with Luthen's character, although noble in a lot of ways. He was the one who was kind of like rushing Bix back into duty, even though she was
Well, it's
clearly
like
all fucked up.
yeah, it's like the same thing with like Andor actually in like Andor kind of becomes Luthen basically,
Yeah.
where like in the last episode when he helps Mon Mothma escape, and that driver shows up and he just straight up kills him, and it's
Yeah.
possible that that driver would have helped. He heard the speech, you could see his face, like he looked like
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
join her
He may have,
cause" or something. But
but
it doesn't matter. You don't know that. He doesn't
yeah.
know that. And he wants to just get things done quickly.
Well, Luthen stayed alive that long by doing shit like that. Like
But he also
he,
is becoming like him because of that.
yeah. Yeah.
Like you know,
Well, Deidre shows up so Luthen's about to escape, head off to Yavin, and he's destroying his secret lab.
and it
Uh,
was
so,
crazy when he was revealed to be Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Well, he wasn't it wasn't a lab, but he was destroying his little command center
Yeah, he
at the
has
art
that
gallery.
communication device or whatever.
Yeah. And then Deirdre shows up and pretends to be like, "Oh, I'm going to sell some art." And
Yeah.
he's like,
What were those things she pulled out?
that was that was the thing that started, that was from episode the first season. Remember they had stolen, the rebels had stolen a device that would let them track where the star destroyers were going. That was like a plot device in the first season. uh I forget what it was called, but it was basically what they had stolen. Geez. It was like some imperial transmitter or something. Um anyway, uh she is on to him. He eventually comes clean, and then she's about to take him into custody to assume, like, torture him and interrogate him, and he kills himself or tries to.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
Well,
great, oh god,
no, go ahead. What?
I thought it was a great character arc, because clearly Luthen, we never see Luthen outside of Andor, like the show. He doesn't show up in Star Wars, the Star Wars universe elsewhere. He
Oh, yeah,
was
I mean, a lot of these characters don't, though.
right, but like, so
Well,
we,
except for the obvious ones, but yeah.
but I figured he was going to die at some point because we never see or
No,
hear
yeah,
from him
no, he
again.
was doomed. There was no way. I mean, he, and no, again, I don't want to spoil anything in the that you didn't see yet, but he's like the backbone of the rebellion in a way.
He's so instrumental, and I thought it was cool because
Where they call him Access or something. They had a
something like,
nickname. They like
yeah,
Deidre has been trying to find him for years, and Praxis or something. It was like
yeah, I forget she did have like a name for him. Um,
it's just so funny because it was like on curse. It's like it's almost like hysterical when you think about it. It's like a brilliant move. The most the thing you can do to make people not realize you're the head of a fucking rebellion is to literally exist there
yeah,
and just lay low a bit and put on this facade as being this like art dealer.
well, he I thought it was cool because there's probably all sorts of people helped build the rebellion that was like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they all, a lot of them died, and you never, like,
Well,
Luke
that's what you got in
Skywalker.
Rogue One, It's
Yeah,
like,
all those people.
they killed all the minorities that were in that scene in the beginning of Rogue One when they were in the base of Yavin. Like
Yeah,
there was like a whole like diverse group of people, and then they all died fighting on that planet. So then the first Star Wars movie, the only people left were white people.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's the explanation for why it was like just
yeah.
so fucked up.
Right. Yeah. Well, it is like all those people, those real important people, like Andor and uh Bix and Luthen and all of them. Like, the only one you really hear about is like Mon Mothma. She's the only one who's
And
like,
that's because she was in Return of the Jedi.
yeah. And but it's like cool because like she, now if you watch Return of the Jedi and you see Mon Mothma, and she looks like so stern, and like she's seen shit. She
She's
saw
seen.
all those people die. She lost all those people. She knows the stakes. And then you have like Luke Skywalker and like all these people kind of new to the rebellion.
The woman who
Yeah,
played the first Mon Mothma
yeah.
is supposedly still alive.
Hmm.
She's like in her 90s,
Oh wow.
and supposedly she still acts.
Huh.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick.
Yeah. Mon
First,
Mothma. I wouldn't have guessed that. Um. So Mon Mothma. Genevieve O'Reilly plays Mothma now, and previously it was Caroline Blackiston.
yep.
God, man, she was born in 1933.
Isn't that crazy though? Like to me, as a kid, my grandparents were born like 1914. And I think
Yeah,
about that now and I realize like, oh yeah, there's no way they would be alive today because they
right.
would be 115 years old.
Yeah.
And then you
This
realize people born in the 30s are like getting close to being 100 years old.
This says her last film, she was active up until 2016 was her last film. And I guess she did something for television
She's
in
92.
2019. I'll tell you, man, the photo on Wikipedia, even the photo looks old. Like,
That's the photo from like something she was in. Do you see
yeah,
that? Because
yeah. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, I think I love the way this works because Luthen was so critical to the rebellion and basically died anonymously. I mean, like a few characters know about him and will live to tell his story, but like
no, no, they won't. No, they won't. That's the
Mon
thing.
Mothma, well, I mean Mon
Yeah,
Mothma,
yeah.
but like, but you're right. Aside from Mon
Like
Mothma,
Andor,
like
everybody died. Like almost everybody died.
all
But
died.
it shows you that that's what happens with like
That's a
rebellions and
rebellion.
like
Yeah.
in
Um,
general. Like even like in the first episode of this season, when that one guy who was kind of a big character in the first season, and he
yeah.
gets killed, and it's like he was instrumental, and then all these people. The guy who like wrote the book. Remember, he
Right.
gets killed in that episode when he gets like crushed, and then
Yeah.
Andor takes the book from him.
Yeah.
He pretty much like wrote the Bible or something on the rebellion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This was such a great episode. It felt so epic. All the things that make Andor great were there, except Andor himself.
I
But
just
like,
think, I didn't really care for Rogue One, but I'm definitely gonna go rewatch it after this is all done. I just feel like my issue with Rogue One was like they just added a bunch of stupid shit in there just to like make it more Star Warsy, I think. Because there's supposedly like it's another one of those like movies that were like cut up. Like there's a
yeah,
lot of new scenes that were added in, scenes taken out. Like there's footage of Forrest Whitaker having totally different hair.
yeah. I think Rogue One. I liked Rogue One to begin with. I thought it was real good. Um, but I'll bet you I really like it now because they so often they have to like rationalize and justify things and like do little workarounds and like,
Yeah.
but like with this it seems like everything is leading into Rogue One perfectly.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
why
Well,
wouldn't it?
it's leading into just Star Wars in
Yeah.
general. Like it's. Um,
Eventually you're going to get to the point where you could watch, I don't think I'm exaggerating, you could probably watch like 60 hours of straight TV that will tell a continuous Star Wars story. You know what I mean? We're probably up there now.
no. Nah,
Well,
it's too
and Andor alone is like 20 hours worth of
yeah,
it.
no, I think Andor works as a lead into Star Wars, but
No,
like
I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to, like, you wouldn't watch it sequentially. It wouldn't be a minute by minute, but like,
oh,
you
it
could,
is crazy when you realize like how much content there is of Star Wars
yeah.
now.
There's a
Like
lot of Star
when
Wars.
Disney bought Star Wars and they released episode 7,
Yeah,
there was more content because they made a Clone Wars cartoon that was on for
yeah,
years. But and then they released like a Rebels cartoon, but that
yeah.
was post Disney
Someone
purchase.
said that you could watch last week's Andor and then like season 3, episode 8 of Rebels or whatever, and they match up perfectly. Like,
Yeah, that's what I heard. I call bullshit, but whatever.
and I just made up that season and episode number, but
No,
like,
I know what
yeah,
you're
some,
talking about though. It's because the Mon Mothma episode or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm curious. Like, I mean, it's such a good show.
Yeah.
But it also like exists on its own. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah.
because like, I'm sorry, Star Wars is so antiquated. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I agree. The tone, everything about
Let's
it's like,
watch Andor all the way through. Okay, then we'll watch Star Wars. Why is like
right.
things look cheaper?
Why do none of the stormtroopers fire correctly? Like, why
Where's
is
the where's all the diverse cast?
right? Why does Darth Vader fight in slow motion? Why does Darth Vader uh yeah, I mean it is weird, but like
It's
um
funny when they made Rogue One, they had to recreate the Star Wars suit from the first movie. They said
mm,
like if you look at that one and look at the one in Empire, the
oh yeah.
Empire one is like just
Yeah.
so much better. Like it's just sleeker. It's the cool thing though in the first one though, which I always thought was kind of awesome, is his eyes are red.
Oh yeah,
He has like red goggles or whatever the
you
fuck.
can see his eyes.
You can
Like,
see him through it. Yeah.
yeah, I remember, especially like in the TIE fighter scenes in
Yeah.
the end, it's very noticeable, his eyes.
I
Like,
always think that that scene's stupid just because, and we've
he's
talked
like,
this a bunch of times. Yeah, it makes no sense that he would
hop on
be.
a TIE fighter.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess I don't know. You would send him in last or something like
Yeah,
do your you took down
it
a ship.
makes no sense.
Like,
That part makes no sense. It made sense,
well,
like,
it made
I could,
sense for that movie
right, I could
when it
see
came
them
out.
saying,
They went clearly not waste the Dark Lord of the
right.
Sith on the.
But like, but back then they're like, no, we need the villain fighting the hero in the end. I'm
I
sure
just think
someone
the
at the studio,
funniest thing in Rogue One that today is like,
the
in
bombs.
Star Wars, they're like, oh yeah, it's a hole the size of a womp rat. Yeah, I eat those shoot those things all the time in the Tashi station.
Right,
Hey,
the womp
back at
rat.
home, me and Bob Roney, we used to fucking shoot womp rats. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Well, I, yeah, it is.
And then like in the movie, they had to like no, what's his name? Not Jyn Erso, her father, played by Mads Mikkelsen, the one who supposedly designed the Death Star.
Oh yeah,
And he's like, I created ridiculously convoluted weakness. It's literally a small belly button on the side of the
yeah,
ship. You just gotta find it, and it literally will blow up the entire Death Star.
yeah.
It's fucking stupid. In Return of the Jedi, at least like they were like, okay, like we can't do that again. We're gonna have to
Right.
fly in and shoot the middle. Like we're gonna have to like, which that let me tell you, man, that those effects back then, that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it still looks good to this day.
I saw it like, probably like 5 or 6 years ago.
When Lando's flying through the fucking Death Star and they get to the
Yeah,
center and everything. I mean, it's all matte paintings, but it looks amazing still.
yeah. A lot of it holds up, and they probably did touch it up, but
Oh yeah, no, they totally did. I have to. Supposedly they're releasing the originals.
huh,
Like the theatricals. They're supposedly gonna actually I forgot they said this either they're gonna do special screenings. Like,
weird. Well, I
yeah,
did hear, and you had heard this too, that they're going to kind of mash up a few episodes of Andor with some bonus footage and release it as a film and pair it with a re-release of Rogue One.
that could
And
be interesting.
the
Like
idea would be, yeah, that it would be a
yeah,
seamless. I think
that
that
could
would
be kind
work.
of cool as like a double feature and see how it works and if it works as a movie on its own.
Well, I think there's very little risk. I mean, you got to pay editors, obviously, and I'm sure people get paid for their work, but
I
it's
mean,
not like you have to go back on location. You have to go back
yeah,
and
yeah, they're just
film. I
taking the
mean,
show and
yeah, I mean it's a minimal cost
no,
compared
there were
to
scenes they wanted to add in, but they couldn't get it. It's like the Millhouse and
yeah.
the what was he Fallout Boy and then
Oh yeah.
he's like a scene when he's just sitting on the bed.
Well, I think
Um, good.
it'll
What?
be good. It'll be good because like I'm sure they will make it uh more like streamlined. I
I'm
mean,
curious how it would work as like a movie. I was watching a
yeah.
thing. I don't know, stupid TikTok or somewhere Facebook. It like fucking disappeared. It was Topher Grace getting interviewed, and he was talking. They were talking about the where he took the entire prequel series and turned it
Oh
into an
yeah.
80-minute movie or something.
Yeah.
And he did it he even said like, yeah, they're terrible, but like he wanted to see like what he worked on it for years and like I want to see this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be someone has to have it. It's got to
I'm
be like,
sure. Yeah. You would think. I mean, it's available somewhere.
for what are you doing in my house? Give
Right.
me the Star Wars movie, the edit, the Phantom edit. Give it to me.
The Topher cut.
I need the Topher cut now. What was the character's
Release.
name? The Foreman,
Yeah. Release the Foreman
the
cut.
dumbass cut, as his dad would say.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Um, oh, my son's gonna be home soon. I'll have to. take a minute break when
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Not yet though. All right, so yeah, Andor is great. We're only one episode in. I don't want to we'll talk about it more next week when we watched all of the episodes. All right.
Yes.
Last of Us. What do you think of this week's Last of Us?
I liked it better.
Yeah.
I still don't love the show currently. I'm willing to kind of see where I'm going to watch the whole season, see where it goes. I did like the end. Um, okay, I liked the end where Ellie corners Nora,
It's like
and
totally out of the video game, that scene.
yes, I
Totally.
saw a couple videos where they did a side by side comparison, and they were very close. Um, and I thought it was a very cool line where the Nora chick is like, "You've killed us both," and she's like, "Did I?" I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
was great. Yeah,
It
because
was,
she's coughing with the spores and
yeah.
everything. That's kind of
Um,
crazy though, like that you can get killed. Is that a new thing or was that always
no,
near the
in
spores?
the video game, that was the whole thing, is that would happen. That
Oh yeah.
that's how it spread. So I mean, it makes sense why they did it the way they did it, but and I like that scene. I liked how Ellie was feeling bad about Joel. A lot of it was starting to click, like this is how I would expect her to react. But prior to that scene, she was like goofing around on like what was a real serious. It just seemed like the tone was all over the place
Well,
prior to
she's
that
kind
scene.
of always been like that. Like even in the first season, she would do
Yeah,
shit like,
that book of knock knock jokes or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
like what's her name? Like her girlfriend, whatever her name is.
Dina.
Dina's like serious actually,
Yeah.
triangulating. No, it's just kind of funny too how like Ellie's like just really ignorant.
Yeah. Well, she was a kid born during this mess.
Well,
She's never
after
had, yeah,
post, yeah, or right as it
yeah,
was happening.
she's never had any like attachments that have lasted. I mean, it's clearly the kid's going to be all fucked up. Maybe that's funny. I mean, in a sort of way, she is probably the first of the people that are post apocalypse.
Yeah, they didn't get like formal education of any kind. Like clearly
Yeah,
Dina got some education and shit. Like, I mean,
the Last of Us are like, once the Last of Us die, there's going to be people like Ellie left. That's probably the inside
if you don't
joke.
have people preserving like any type of you know,
Yeah. Well, there's that scene where the woman from Yellow Jackets was running that fucked up town from last
yeah, yeah, the
year.
one that gets taken over.
Yeah, you see them like exploring a building, and there's schools set up, and like people were trying to keep the faith, so to speak. But Ellie never received any of that. So I guess it makes sense that her character's fucked up. But
Oh yeah, I
I
remember
get
that school. That was like super creepy.
yeah. But long story short, I wasn't liking the episode up until that last part, and I was like, okay,
The last
it's
15 minutes were the best part of the show.
right. It's a very cool scene. As like a fan of like action kind of, I love. It was a pretty badass scene.
That guy showing up seemed a little too like convenient.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not saying that he's like some bad guy. I mean, like I think it's just like a writer.
Yes.
I mean, they were in what, Wyoming? Where were they? What state were they in?
I
Wyoming,
think
right?
they're still in Washington, aren't they?
No, when they were in they're in Seattle. I'm talking
Oh
about where
yes.
their base was. Wasn't it like Wyoming?
Wyoming. Yes.
I mean,
Jackson,
that's
Wyoming,
not
I
a
think.
hop, skip, and a jump to get there. They
No,
make it
I mean it's
sound like that was the one thing I was shocked that they made it look like they got to Seattle very quickly
yeah.
on foot.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, that looked like I'm sorry, there's like mountains and shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna take you like
Plus,
probably 2 months to
how do you
walk
even know
there.
you're gonna make it? Like just
Yeah,
making it there
that
is
was a little too convenient. And then this
yeah,
guy
I agree.
showing up too, like,
But like for me, I'm like, okay, that's how these shows work. Like shit like that happens.
yeah, but that's
It's
also like how Game of Thrones got stupid in the last season
yeah,
when like the characters were able to
yeah,
like throughout the show, it would take like with the Dothraki to show up to the fucking river.
right.
Took him like three
Yes,
seasons or something. And then the fourth, and then the last season, you got Daenerys, that's his name, that bald dude,
yeah,
who's like just going from scene to scene, like and they were like, wait,
yeah. Fast traveling.
what are you taking? Fucking like a jet? Like
Yeah,
taking dragon?
yeah. Well, like you had said, I don't know if you were recording, if we were recording when you said it, but next episode is has flashbacks with Joel in it.
What
And
here in the end of this episode? Very
what now?
end? What happened to Ellie in the very end before she wakes up and you see that it's like a flashback? Like what happened to her? I'm trying to remember how it ended.
She was fucking that girl Nora up, and then I
Yeah,
thought
but
that's the last we saw of her. No,
no. I feel like there was like a scene, and then they show her wake up the next day,
right?
and maybe it was that. I don't know. Then she wakes up the next day, and then you're like, what? And then Joel walks in, and I guess next week is like a flashback episode.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I honestly, if you had asked me like 10 minutes ago, I would have sworn the last scene we saw of Ellie was that that she was like beating Nora with a pipe or something. Um, yeah, let's see. I don't know.
Well, the
Last,
Seattle thing, they gotta explain that, like, too, because it seems like that's pretty fucked up, especially with that woman. Wasn't
yeah.
there like pictures of her on the wall or something? Like they're worshiping her almost some weird shit.
I remember that, but I didn't take away from that they were kind of worshiping her. Okay, so I just looked up the synopsis. It says that the last scene, and this may be what you're thinking about, is that the last scene is Ellie beating Nora with a pipe, but Ellie reveals that she knew what Joel did.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
she didn't
and
care.
it was always ambiguous up until that
Yeah, I
point.
figured she knew.
But that was one of my big gripes about the first part of the season is that Ellie's all mad at Joel and we don't know why.
And it was
And
supposed to be a 5 year gap. Was it
yeah,
supposed to be 5 years?
yeah, it was like a yes, yeah,
That's didn't feel like it, but sure, whatever.
like fucking get over it. He saved your life, right? Like move on.
I don't
Um,
know. I just keep talking about like when my dad didn't get me like this thing from like 35 years ago. I still bring it up.
what of the Godzilla with the detachable fist? Nothing, nothing.
Oh man, that was
Um,
sick. No, I'm not. Yeah, the fucking Shogun Warrior that wanted.
yes, yes.
You
So
know, we were
anyway,
talking about Alien before.
yeah,
Uh, we were talking about during the podcast. Or was that?
no, I think we were talking about it. Yeah, during the
Do
podcast.
you remember the toy that came out around that time? So they made a giant action figure when the
I
first,
do remember this. Yes, it was very
and it's
big.
like horrifying. Like it has like a
Yeah,
skull under it.
giant penis head. Yeah,
They ended up like pulling it from the market, but it was like a really good detailed figure for the time. And
yeah,
like, fuck you doing? This thing's like fucking horrifying.
right.
Because it had like the skull. Because I don't think in the movie it had that. That's like the original H.R. Geiger design or something.
Yeah.
And had that penis that came out instead of the.
God, right. Yeah, I remember seeing Alien and then later getting that book. What was it called? Like the Necronomicon or something? The H.R. Geiger print
Do
book
you
that
know that I found out about that from Jesus Christ?
how so?
You know, Jesus Christ showed me the H.R. Geiger book when I was in high school. Jesus
Yes.
Christ was a senior in high school
Oh, okay.
in the art club, and he brought his H.R. Geiger books, and that's when I found out that one H.R. Geiger designed the aliens, and two
Yeah.
that they had dicks in their mouths instead of a second mouth.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. It was Jesus Christ. It's that guy who plays
Oh, you
Jesus
told me yes.
on those shows.
The chosen or something.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
dude's gotta be like a fucking so rich from this shit. He is like my high school. We had like our biggest celebrities was Steve Guttenberg,
Yep. Classic.
stuttering John Melendez.
Another
Yep,
classic.
from Howard Stern. There was some soap opera dude. I think there was like one other famous
Yeah.
person. Massapequa High School, which is same town technically. They had all the famous people. They had Seinfeld. They had the Baldwins.
Nice.
They had the Stray Cat guy.
Oh, Brian Setzer.
A
Yeah.
couple other famous people from that school. But it's crazy that guy. Yeah, Jesus Christ showed me alien dicks when I was a
I
kid.
yeah, I think I first saw that Geiger book around the same time the Dead Kennedys album Frankenchrist came out. Do you remember that? Because
No,
Geiger did an insert. Like if you bought the
I'll have to look that
vinyl,
up.
yeah, if you, and I'll bet you it's very collectible now. But the Dead Kennedys put, I think it's probably their last album, um, put out an album called Frankenchrist, and inside of it
I
was
thought
a
you said the
huge.
Cramps. Did you say the
No,
Cramps?
and I said Dead Kennedy. I don't think I said the Cramps. Dead Kennedys.
Oh,
The record was Frankenchrist, and there's a giant Geiger print included in the album.
I'll look that up.
I
So
guess it wasn't. Bedtime for Democracy was, I guess, their last one. But Frankenchrist is the one with the Shriners on the cover.
yeah. Oh God.
Do you see it?
Yeah, it's like Frankenchrist, and it's just like a bunch of asses or vaginas. I can't even tell. Is that no,
It's I think it's penis. The name of the piece is Penis Landscape. Um
dude, that is crazy pattern. That
yeah,
is like the worst. That's like the worst herringbone pattern I ever seen.
the album was a subject of controversy because the original record sleeve included a poster featuring the painting Landscape XX, or Penis Landscape, by H.R. Geiger, depicting rows of copulating penises and vulva. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a good pattern too. It's
well,
like
anyway, I
you can make a
remember
repeat and turn that into like a blanket.
I bought that record, and that came with it. And around the same, I can't remember if it was shortly before or shortly after, but someone brought that Geiger book around, and it also had a lot of dicks in it. So it
I just
was
think it's funny that Jesus Christ showed me that.
that
I
is a
saw a
great
clip. I guess
story.
he was on Fallon recently. Dude, it's nuts, man. It's
Yeah,
so surreal. Like I'll be like watching YouTube. I haven't seen it in a while, and then he'll like pop up and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? You mind if I pray with you right now?" And I'm
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I do, John Rumi. Get the fuck off my fucking. What the hell, man?"
yeah,
I had a friend who this was years later, ran into him like at a bar or something. And this girl I was friends with, and she thought he was kind of cute or whatever. So
yeah.
she went on a date with him. And she came back, she told me he was a huge fucking dork. And I was like, hey, listen, man, I only know him from he was in
Right.
senior, I was a freshman, you know?
That's
I'm
funny.
sorry, but now he's Jesus. So
Hey,
I wonder if she realizes that she went on a date and turned down
yeah,
Jesus Christ. Also, I
huh?
didn't know Jesus Christ was 50 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Yeah,
I thought he only lived to 33, right?
33. Yeah,
Yeah.
huh?
I don't understand the lore, the continuity of The Chosen. I don't know how
Right.
it works.
Yeah, well, I remember I watched Chosen, and I was like 2 or 3 episodes into it, and I'm like,
You
when's
actually
the
watched it?
fucking
Was it good or was it
when is the karate gonna start? And as it turns out, it was not about Chosen at all. The
or
character,
Chosen from Cobra
yes,
Kai? Yeah. You're
I'm
like,
just kidding. I've never seen the show. I'm just
oh,
kidding.
you're just kidding. Supposedly they're making a whole bunch of them, like a big Jesus universe, like
They
an
film it
MCU.
somewhere around here in Texas.
Oh, of course they do. That does not shock me one
Well,
bit.
because parts of Texas look like, that part of the world. Um,
Oh yeah,
uh,
that too. Yeah.
yeah, I
Uh,
mean that was the real reason I think.
I just think
Uh,
it's so funny. I just like anytime I see him, I'm like, this is so weird.
yeah,
Maybe he could
that
get
is
me into
weird.
heaven. I should get
Hmm.
in touch with him. Hey, John, you got the connections.
Right. Uh, wow. All right. So yeah, I'll stick with Last of Us. I'm a little
A
disappointed
lot
in
of
the way
people are
that,
shitting on this season. They
yeah,
really are.
I'm not to that point. I mean, I still think it's
I
better
don't
than
think it's
like,
that. I think it's still good. I mean, it's still cool. I don't know where the show's going. That's the only issue. It's like, okay, yeah, you're looking for Abby now, but I'm like, okay,
right.
where does the show go from here? I don't really understand. Like,
I think this is it. I think we're gonna have one more this season, and I think at the end of the season, it's gonna end like the Last of Us 2
unless they
video
make
game
another
ended.
game or something and they have the story, but or they branch out. I think they said there
The
was only gonna be 4 seasons anyway, but I don't know what
the
the.
best thing they could do is finish the season, finish it like the video game the ends. That'll be a good ending point. And then what they
How's the
can
game
do,
end? You can ruin it for me. I don't care. Spoilers. How's the game end?
the ending is that Ellie
The second game.
eventually, this is the second game in the end
Okay.
of the franchise. Ellie tracks down Abby, and fucks her up and is about to kill her and then doesn't because she remembers Joel. And then, but during the whole battle, Abby like takes off some of Ellie's fingers,
Ugh.
takes her fingers off. And so then
Spoilers.
Ellie goes back to the
Yeah, but
place in Wyoming where she was holed up with Joel, and she gets out Joel's guitar and tries to play it, but she can't because her hand's all fucked up, and that's the end. It's real sad. Yeah.
wah, wah. She lets Abby live. Why?
Because she I think realized the destructive nature of what had been going on.
I
They're
always
the
like when
last.
they this is my only issue when they do this shit on like they do this in comics, they do this in movies, they do this in everything. Motherfuckers will be killing people left
Yeah,
and right, goons and everything like that. But
yeah,
all of a sudden, when they get to the villain, there's a moral dilemma.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that like,
They're always like, "We can't kill." It's like you literally just killed 100 people.
right?
Just one more, and that one is the bad one.
Yeah,
That's the
right.
like if those 100, if anything, you should have just killed that person,
Right. Start
and then
there.
those other people probably would have followed you or went off and done something else.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, we can't kill this person. It will be no different than them. No different
I
than them. You're worse. You killed their entire army. They killed 3 of us. You're
yeah,
worse than them. But we have to keep the guy alive. Why would you keep the Joker alive?
right.
His IP
Yeah.
is too valuable. What did you just say?
Right.
He's a very valuable IP. We cannot.
I would say with The Last of Us, I would finish this season, and then if you want to continue the franchise, start something new. There's
Well,
plenty of stories you can tell
there
in
is
this
another
world.
season. They're not this. The game is not. They split the second game into 2 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I don't know. I would rather see I'd rather them close this out than like the early days of the like do what they did with like Fear of the Walking Dead, but do it better. Um, let's see the opening days of the pandemic, or the uh, there's lots of stories. This is a very interesting world.
Well, I mean, you could
Uh,
do like a show about Fedra or something like that.
yes, right. Uh, there's a lot you can do, but this at least I'm kind of like done.
Is there like
Joel's
even like a talk of a cure or anything in the game, or it's literally just like,
I think no, I think that's the point of it is that it's done. Like they're the last humans. They're probably not going to survive as a species much
well, they're
longer.
showing the one thing they already acknowledged is in the show is that they're evolving.
Yeah,
Like she's like they're smarter. These
right. Those
specific ones
stalkers.
are clearly smarter. They are working on like they could trick you, they could hide.
Uh-huh.
Eventually they could like at some point they're gonna be the new life
You would imagine, yeah, at some point they build
over the as
cities.
it builds up and then they'll just be like people again or something
Yeah,
weird. They'll just be people again. It's just like a new form, and then eventually within like I don't know, thousands of years, they'll probably just look like people
yeah.
with like just slightly different. Like they'll have like
Well, that could be.
mushrooms instead of hair, they have like mushrooms or some shit, which sounds
Right,
disgusting.
right.
Are you
Well,
tripping on yourself again? Yeah,
yeah.
man. Like a weird form of masturbation, you eating your own mushrooms and you get high from it.
Well, I think
Get high in your own supply, mushroom guy.
I think yeah, I'll wait and see on the rest of the season. I'm in it for this
I mean,
season.
it's already like more than halfway done. I think what is it, like eight
There's
episodes?
only a couple episodes left.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this was like episode 5. So I think there's only like I'm just curious about it. The thing is, like, I don't know how long they're gonna make you wait for the season. Like, I feel like it was like 2 years from the first season.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of that was probably pandemic related, but
The
we'll
actor
see. I mean,
strike. I think the actor
yeah.
strike was the thing that really screwed things up. Well, that second episode was such a banger, man, with all the
Yeah.
fucking with all the invasion, the
Yep.
bloater, and like it was such an insane episode, and I felt like everything else after has just kind of been like,
Yeah. Yeah, anticlimactic.
I don't know. They introduced like Jeffrey Wright. Where the fuck did that go?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Maybe he's like a
And
bigger character, like in the end, and it leads to the next season.
could be. I honestly, I I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
But you
know.
know what I
And
do know?
hmm,
That there's only two more episodes left of Handmaid's Tale after this.
yeah, this last episode was really good. Um, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I would say like once shit started happening, I wanted more of it to happen. So I was a little frustrated with kind of the slow pacing of
I
it.
think they're on a budget and they're hitting the fast forward button.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you introduced that Matt Gates motherfucker, the guy from Veep, who's basically coming.
Yeah.
You think they would have like, I don't know, like he would have had a bigger death than just.
Yes. I was very disappointed in his death.
So
Um,
basically, they made everybody sleepy, right?
they
They
poisoned the
Cosby'd
cake.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
when Lydia goes there and she sees the ground, it was like all the cake was on the floor.
Yeah. It
None of
was
the
like the Red
handmaids ate
Wedding.
it. Yeah, but they didn't do it there. They basically were given like
Right.
what, a
Yeah.
box cutter or something. They
It looked like
basically
it. Yeah.
smuggled in like a weapon. They all were given weapons, and I guess their commanders would be sleepy when they got home.
Yep. And then
And
they were
then,
to kill the commanders. Yeah.
yeah, because I was like, "What is going on?" I remember like that scene with the Matt Gates guy. I'm like, like June just comes in and like stabs him in the eye, kills
Yeah.
him. That was
Yeah.
great. But like,
Um,
I guess he was sleepy. He's really
I would,
tired.
yes, the only thing I could equate it to is I've taken like sometimes when I'm real sick, I'll take like a narcotic pain medicine or like after you get dental work done or whatever, you take a basically I guess like an oxy or something. And you if you've ever taken it, you feel slow. Like you can totally see how that would happen, like they're
Yeah.
just very lethargic and it's slow to process and your reflexes are shit. Um, I wanted a bigger, more like spectacular death for that character,
I
but
really think that there's a budget constraint. I feel like the budget's not as big as it used to
yeah,
be. I don't know. And I feel like they put a lot of money into this episode just because of like it just looked more grander, like
yep. Yeah, well,
wedding.
there's some big scenes with a lot of characters in it,
Yeah.
which always involves like a lot of lighting, a lot of stage
I
crew, a lot of
I think the okay, so like she gets married, Serena. That's like what the
yep,
episode is, and it's got some like what's that called? Glorious Bastard vibes. Like
yes,
the
yeah,
Nazis were going to this movie premiere at this theater. All
right.
the leadership, and they knew all the leaders were going to be going to this. Because I guess is he like the head commander? This guy?
I I don't know. That's the impression I
I'm like,
got, but I
who's
have
the?
no
Is there like
idea.
a head guy, or
I
is
don't
it
know
like
that
all just a
either.
bunch of warring, like a bunch of
No,
commanders?
because they talk to Lawrence about how he will eventually become the leader, and I forget what they call it, but there is a leader. There's like a
High command. Well, he's a high commander now, but like, yeah, I thought there was like a name for it. But I guess he is that guy. I think he's the like he's like I don't know, and I just found it a little ridiculous though how quick he was to like. Okay, so they have the wedding and they go to the new house,
yep,
and he's carrying her like wedding style and whatever.
and but then
They had a great day. They had a great day. But
right,
then, like, all of a sudden, you see this like little girl,
yeah,
and he's like, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" or something. And he's like, "Well, you said I said we were gonna have." She's like, "I'm fertile. You don't need to do this." He's
right,
like, "Well, I want a big family," which is like some polygamy shit right there. But like, this is like, I don't know. I just thought that was like a little stupid. I know why they did it. I just felt like
well,
he wouldn't be so. He wouldn't just. He'd do it like
yeah,
the
but
next day or some shit. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
but yeah, from the story perspective, it makes sense.
I mean,
And
or
I
he
still
was
don't know
like,
what Serena's. I don't know where Serena's character goes. I mean, it could go
well,
a
she
bunch of different
escapes
ways.
kind of, which I'm shocked he let her leave.
Yeah,
I was shocked that because she's like, I'm done. She has the baby in her hand. She's like, get me out of here. And she like walks out of the house and,
right,
oh, she says to like the handmaid, what's your name? And she's like, of Gabriel, which is the
yeah,
commander's name. And she's like, no, what's your real name? And the girl's like, they're gonna like fucking cut my tongue out, you fucking
yeah,
bitch. Like, I'm not gonna say
psycho.
shit. Like, they're literally gonna kill me if I think she does say her name. But yeah, it was just like very abrupt. I mean, like, I'm curious where it does go. I don't think that it's over, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's gonna find June again. Who the fuck knows? I bet you she
Yeah,
gets killed and she gets and June just takes her baby or something and raises it. I
that
don't
would
know.
make sense. I know the next did I think I told you this last week that the two episode titles coming up.
Spoilers.
Yes, we did talk about this last week. Are Execution and then The Handmaid's Tale. Those are the last two episodes. So my guess is that someone's getting executed next week. It could
Yeah,
be
based on the
Serena.
title.
Well, we had talked about that too. Like it could be the execution of a plan. It
Oh yeah.
could be a bunch of different things, but it's probably an actual execution. Um, and it could be Serena. You know, she could be executed and turned into a martyr. That'd be kind of ironic if
Lawrence.
she,
Lawrence could
yeah.
be executed.
But if like Serena was executed and became like a martyr, that would be like kind of ironic because she was such a shit person. You know,
Well,
then
okay, so when I forgot in her flashback, they
yeah,
show that, she was this right-wing author,
yep.
coming up kind of like also one of the architects of this handmade bullshit. And then she gets shot. Someone shoots her,
Oh,
actually.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And she can't have, basically finds out like from that, she can't have kids.
Right.
And she's like this miserable, nasty woman. Like just nasty.
Yeah.
Really nasty, nasty, nasty woman.
Right.
Blood coming out of her eyes, because coming out of
Yeah.
her, whatever.
Uh,
Ugh. So fucking gross. Like I really got a fucking warthog for a president.
right. God.
Blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her, whatever. It's like so
That's
fucking nasty.
gross.
Okay. And it wasn't until like she has a baby. Oh, and that when she gets taken in and she's almost being treated like a handmaid by that woman. Remember? She
Yeah.
runs that house. And then like, she's on the run. And it's like she can only emphasize because it's like such a typical Republican thing, like because
When it happens to her, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And but she really can't see outside of herself, her experiences. But I don't know. I'm curious what they do with her character. Like, it's hard to like emphasize with her because she was a
Yeah.
fucking villain, and they remind you that she is here and there. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
she
I
never.
think that's like a good point of this is that these types of regimes, they they hurt the good people, but they also hurt other villains. They're just like shitty situations. Like that's a
Yeah.
lesson that you
Well,
would
that's
hope.
when Janine says to Lawrence, Bradley Whitford's
Yeah,
character,
right.
like,
Yeah.
you're a bad guy still, dude. Your politics suck. Like,
Yeah.
you're just better than them. Like, that's not the bar is so low.
Right. Yeah.
Like he'd be like a yeah, I guess you're right. He would be like a fucking not saying he'd be like Jordan Peterson, like his
Yeah.
shit he says, but that type. You could see people
Right.
like him and be like, oh yeah, this guy's going, he'd be invited on
Yeah.
the podcast and shit. And people would be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think and then there's that
Well,
great scene in the end with Lydia
yes.
where she
That was the
goes to the
centerpiece of the show to
well, she
I think.
sees something's up. She shows up to the wedding late and she's eating and she's just like picking up on shit. She's like a detective. And
Yeah.
she sees that like cause she's like, oh, the handmaids are gone. And she looks under the fucking they left all the robes and they realized that none of them ate the cake. And the cake was
Right.
clearly tainted. When didn't she eat it? Wouldn't she have gotten a little sleepy?
Uh I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember that part.
So there's a great scene when she goes back to like the handmaid's quarters, whatever. I
Yeah.
still think okay, some of this casting they did this season, it's just like it's funny. Like you get that guy to be that prick, the Matt Gates
Yeah.
guy, and like it kind of takes me out of the show just a
Yeah.
bit.
A little bit.
But
Yeah.
I also when Bradley Whitford showed up, I was like, ah, yeah, it's that guy, Bradley Whitford. I was
Right.
like, that stuff. But then like also Jan, I don't know the actress's name, but
Yeah.
Jan from the
The Good Place.
place, she was like that weird like route sentient
Yeah. She was an AI. Yeah.
yeah, like a weird AI. Like she was like a weird angel or something. It was like
Right.
not a human or person, but like and then what's his face falls in love with her, the hip hop dancing guy.
Yeah.
Jason or
Jason. Yeah.
what was his name on Acolyte?
The Stranger.
The Stranger. What a horrible name.
Yeah.
That's a name that's what you call when you sit on your left hand and back yourself off after. It's called the Stranger.
Yeah. Ugh. Well,
That's
Yeah, it
what
was
he
good.
said. Actually, it was weird. He brought that up in the acolyte. Remember? He's like, "There's a reason why they call me the Stranger."
That's why I hold my
You're weird?
lightsaber.
No. There's a there's this technique that I learned from my master, Darth Plagueis the Wise. He said, if you're lonely and you want to feel like someone else is jacking off, sleep on your hand. Darth Plagueis the Wise lives in a cave, so it makes sense that he would come up with
Right.
techniques.
God. Well,
Remember
um,
when in episode 3,
hmm,
when that scene with Emperor Palpatine, Palpatine talks to Anakin and he tells him about Darth Plagueis the Wise, and then he
okay.
brings up the whole thing about the stranger.
I did not remember that. I did
That
not
part,
remember.
that's the extended cut. Yeah, that's an extra
Yeah.
scene. And if, Anakin, if you want to learn the true lights of the dark side, you have to learn about the stranger. All
Well,
right, back to the Handmaid's Tale. I'm sorry. So Jan's in it, and all the it's so funny. Anytime they show the ants, they're all these like heinous women,
yeah, they are.
heinous women. No offense. I mean like not heinous like they're ugly, just heinous like
Right.
overall.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's interesting. Like I said, if you watch like the first season, Lydia is a bastard. I mean, she's
She's
like,
terrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's absolutely horrible. It isn't until like the middle of the show that she starts to like break down a bit. And I think, yeah, once she sees the Jezebels, that's when it's like done. It's like she's like, all right,
Yeah.
okay. So like that's that scene with Lydia is great, where
Hmm.
you know, well, one Jan, I don't remember her name on the show, but
Yeah, I
Jan,
don't either.
she was like, she had a knife, she was ready to kill her, like.
Oh yeah.
You had to, because yeah, that was the thing we forgot to bring her up last week. She's introduced in that episode, and I was like, it's her. Like,
Yeah,
and
clearly
I'm
they're
like, what's going on here? But then it's revealed that she's like a good aunt. Like she's like, well,
yeah.
she's an aunt
That
that
was the only problem with that casting. I like that actress a lot, but like you knew she wasn't going to be like anonymous aunt number 3. I mean, like there's going to be more to the
yeah, there was no way
character.
she was gonna be unless she was gonna be like the new evil aunt.
Right, like the worst aunt. Yeah,
Yeah, like
but
the worst and the auntie of the
right.
aunt, like the aunt, and that's why Lydia becomes good because this
Yeah.
aunt's so evil. It's
But yeah, I like it. The June June comes in and gives this big speech to Lydia and
Well, all that ant. Remember now at this
okay.
scene, there's only. I find it funny. There was just one eye. That's what
Yep.
they're called, right? The soldiers,
Yeah.
and they're always super fucking young. That's always a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
You can tell, like they're just like barely
18
out of high
years old or
school.
something. Yeah.
Maybe not even like
Yeah.
15, 16. They're fucking young. Um, and Lydia is a higher up. He has to listen to her.
Yeah.
Like it's part of the hierarchy, and all the handmaids are there, and they're like, we're not gonna go ahead, guys, shoot all of us. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then June shows up. Yeah, she gives this like great speech. She talks about like how, because you told me, like I said, in what's the new show or
The
what's it called?
Testaments.
And it's supposed to be, and she like supposed to like narrate it or something, or you
Lydia,
find out that Lydia was narrating the Handmaid's Tale the whole time or something.
yeah.
Like
Lydia,
how the hell does this character like it? I felt like before that, I'm like, there's no way. She's still kind of like
shitty.
still
Yeah.
deep into this shit, but clearly not. This is like her turning point. June basically tells her, like, you took the babies from, you took our children, you ripped them out of our arms, gave them to
Hmm.
them, and and she didn't see it that way. She's like, this is the
You
process. You're an
you
aunt. What?
helped them rape us.
Yeah,
You
she
know.
said it. She straight up says, Lydia, like they raped us, like we were
Yeah.
raped, and you convinced yourself that this was this like religious ceremony, when in fact
Well,
there's just some
there
fucking
was a great
like
scene
fucking
where
young woman. What?
yeah, I wanted June to come in and just bust heads, but I
No, this is a
think
great scene. And
yeah,
she says to Lydia though, and there's a great part when she says to her, You you can't go back. You already saw. You saw the
yeah,
Jezebels. You saw what they do. You've seen too much now. Like she basically says that to like she basically sees like her good side in some way and saying like
yeah.
you know that this is not.
Well, she says that she's like, do you think God wants this for us?
Yeah.
Do you think God made us for this? Like, are we, or do you think God made us with this divine spark to be free, you know, to not be raped, to not be
Yeah.
mutilated, to not. And it's such a crystal clear argument that Lydia, you almost hear Lydia like she just has like such a deep regret about her, like a horror at like finally accepting the scope of what she's done because she's seen what she's done. She knew all this shit all along. She knew this
Yeah,
was
she knew,
not
but like she didn't know about the Jezebels. She didn't know about like,
right.
you know, I don't know. There's
I
clearly
don't,
things she didn't know or she pretended she didn't know.
yes, yeah, she lied to herself in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So at that point, Lydia's like, I this is wrong, and she lets the handmaids go, and they all kind of run
Well,
into
I
the
don't think they were going to
night.
give her much of a choice. But yeah.
No, but it could have been a fight, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that could
then
have been that soldier. He would have been overcome, but
yeah, but then do they ever do? Because like I thought
then
this was
Janine
real
hugs
weird.
her basically goodbye.
Yeah,
He hugs her bye, and
and then the handmaids run out into the night, and then June gives like a voiceover. I don't ever remember
that's why I
voiceovers
was
in the
almost like, is
show.
this the last episode? But it's not because there's so many other things I haven't closed on. It
Yeah,
felt like a
it did.
finale in some way. But you said there's
Yeah,
two more, and I
two
looked it
more
up.
episodes. I
When?
could see June getting killed in the next episode, and then the 12th, the last episode, not featuring her, or maybe in
I could also
flashbacks, or
see June. Yeah, like kind of like after like a couple of years
yeah,
later or something. I can also see a thing where okay, so and this it, Serena and June, the characters, like Serena wants to force her will on everybody.
yes,
At the end of the day, like she's the type who wants to control things. She wants to be the boss. She wants her way. Like she's
yeah.
only good with the things these things
She
now because she
is,
experienced these things, and it's like. And June is like, bitch, I just want to live my
yeah.
life. I just want to go have brunch or something. But I feel
Serena
like,
is like Angela, and June is like Mona, and that's the whole dynamic in the whole.
oh, Mona, Mona, oh,
uh,
oh,
but
Tony.
but you're right.
Remember that scene? Mona and Tony fuck. And she's like, who's the boss, Tony? He's like, I am. Ugh, Mamma mia, I'm Italian.
Do you remember Tony? This is a trivia question like a week or two ago at the bar trivia I go to. Tony's last name. I couldn't remember it.
Danza?
No, in the show.
Oh, I always hate when like the actor or the actress
Right.
name
Like
is
it is his name in
blatantly
the show
spelled
is
like
like
Woody
Tony
Harrelson.
Schmanza. Like Tony,
What?
his name in the show is like Tony Schmanza or
Yeah,
something
it's
like.
like Parmesan meatballs
No,
supreme.
I couldn't remember his last name
Pizza
in the show.
Bola. There's Tony Pizza Bola.
Pizza Bola. Um, yeah, but no, you're right. June just she doesn't want to be a
But I feel like
revolutionary.
what's going to happen is, and maybe they do this, is that she never goes home. She doesn't die. It's kind of almost like Quantum Leap, where
Oh
she
yeah,
will just free women. She will go, she will become like this,
like a Harriet Tubman type
yeah,
of.
kind of, yeah, like
Yeah,
a Harry Tubman type character, or like the myth of it at least, or,
yeah,
like, oh God, since you brought, okay, there's a great SNL skit
yeah,
from like 2 weeks ago. You gotta watch it. It's like Bill and Ted, but they're not called Bill and Ted, right? And it's
yeah,
you're like, okay, man, they got like the phone booth, they got all the people from the future, the past,
yeah.
and they did their school project, and it's Harriet Tubman and what's his name? He was like a big, this is a black dude who was like a big civil rights guy.
Was it
Donald Trump
Frederick
thought he was a
Douglass? Frederick
yeah, something
Douglass.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, Donald Trump thought he was alive. Remember, he
yeah.
was in the interview. He's like,
Jesus,
I heard he's doing really good things. I'm like,
guy's been dead for like
he's a
200
fucking
years.
idiot. Why
Yeah.
is this acceptable? That was his first presidency. Yeah, the guy's been, it's not even like he's been dead like 150 years.
I maybe longer. I mean, yeah, it's well,
I think
yeah,
it's like post Civil War, so it's like almost on. It's way over 100 years. So
yeah,
yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, it's probably like 100. So they're like, yeah, we're not leaving. Like, you gotta go back to your past, man.
yeah.
They're like, no, no, no. We
No,
like, they're like, like, I forgot what he says. Like, oh, it's still not great for like black people. And he's like, it's a lot better than there. No,
Right? Yeah, yeah,
and they're like, yeah, but you need to be there. You're part of the thing. Like that's how you it
yeah.
happens. They're like, somebody will replace us. We'll be all right. See, it's so good. It's the girl from the woman from Abbott Elementary and Keenan Thompson.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
the one guy is
He,
so good at like he's got these big ears. One of
mm,
one of the newer guys. He's been on a couple years now. He's kind of skinny, weird. He's an odd looking dude, but he's the Keanu character, and he just nails it. It's so fucking funny.
I think when they write the history of SNL, like years in the future, Kenan Thompson's going to be like an
He's the Aunt
epic.
Lydia.
He's
He's gonna be writing the story. He's like
he's so great. He's been so great for so long. You know, I
he's been
can't
on there
even.
since 2003. And the thing is, he's not that old. He started on it when he was like in his early 20s. So
Yeah,
like he's not even 50.
he
And
is
it's just
over the last like dozen or so
he
years. He's
does
just
other
been
stuff too.
yeah,
You see him pop up in all kinds of shit. I just think it's hysterical. Like it's always been like a social faux pas. Like you can't stay on that show too long. And now
yeah.
they're like, Keenan can't leave.
I read an interview with him. And he's like, I'm no, I like I hit pay dirt. Like they're gonna have to like haul me out of here in a hospital bed or something.
I think
Uh,
he saves like skits. Like he
yeah,
knows how to save a skit. Like he'll just show up and do something, and everyone's laughing, and then the skit ends, and it's like,
yeah.
oh, thank God he showed up. Like I just find it crazy. Like I said, they would always be like, this guy was on too long. He's on 7 years.
Oh,
That's too long. And they're like, he should be making 12 movies. Keenan Thompson did fucking the Fat Albert movie,
oh yeah,
and and Bill Cosby was connected to that, and he was probably like, you know what? I'm not doing that again.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, two more episodes of The Handmaid's Tale.
So I
Um,
think go yeah, you brought up Harry Tubman. That's what,
yeah,
and of course that leads to Keaton
yeah,
Thompson.
yes.
I mean, it all tracks, it all makes sense. Um, so I could just see that she never leaves,
Yeah,
and you don't know if she lives or dies, but she's there to like just save people, and it's kind of interesting because it's like she becomes something that she didn't want to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's
yeah,
her daughter back and go back to her old life.
yeah.
And she ends up becoming this kind of like
Folk hero.
and she is like they're scared of her. The word June scares the shit out of commanders and stuff. Like
Yeah,
she's been they can't catch her, which is really stupid. But
yeah,
she's got an insane amount of plot armor.
yeah, yes.
I remember there was like I don't know what season it was. It was like a couple of years ago. It's like the first episode they were escaping. And every one of these like almost half these other handmaids get killed, but not her.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
like I forgot one of them even makes a joke because oh, you're always fine. You always see everyone. Well, we're all
I haven't
fucking
seen a.
dying, but you seem to come out okay.
Uh,
I don't know. I like the show. I thought that scene was great with Lydia.
yeah, it was a good one.
Um, yeah, it's like you see them for what they are. These fucking pieces of shit. These dudes you just want to like they're just scumbags. They're
Yeah,
scuzzballs. It's not enough. They want to like. uh,
yeah.
There's a great okay. You ever watch that show Big Love?
Geez, a long. That's the Mormon show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But they
I
talk about
watched
like
a little bit of it. I didn't. I
the
didn't really
elements
watch
of
it.
polygamy and
Yeah.
like I
Who
forgot
was
what's
in
his
that?
face
That
played his
was.
dad. Bill Paxton who
That
passed
was
away.
it. Yeah.
But his dad, the guy's still I think he's still alive.
Oh,
This actor
jeez.
has been around for years. I forgot his
Uh.
name, but he played his dad on the show and he's great on it. He was like such a scuzzball and he had like all these wives and shit. And I remember his mom never wanted to be with him or something. I don't know. They had like
Right.
but he says to like the older wife, Bill Paxton's first wife, says like something about the religion or something. And he's like basically says like, yeah, it's a religion designed for men. Like he basically just sums it up real easy. It's like, yeah, this religion, this benefits me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we made it that way. We made sure it was that way.
They say a lot that a lot of people think like a lot of religion basically kind of starts that way is that it's carved out to just make a protected class and keep people in line. And
Yeah,
I mean obviously it
that
makes
is literally
sense.
what it is. And then you get like actual. things that might spawn off of that, and they are like, Quakers. I don't know what
Well,
their
it makes like
legal cause is.
religion's weird because like back when people were like not they didn't have a lot of knowledge, then of course you're gonna want to like why does fire exist or what is you
Or
want
like
reasons.
we're kosher because there was like, or we're halal because this animal killed like a ton of
Yeah,
people.
right.
Like,
So you don't get like trichnosis or something.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's probably it was a combination of like some good common sense and some you know genuine attempts to understand the world and stuff. But then it was also probably like once people started claiming religion and organizing it, it became a lot about like, well, women need to cook, or like people aren't like us need to be punished or
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, fuck, look at the ultimate irony. You had now, if Jesus actually existed,
sure.
the so-called story of like, of course, the people want to say the Jews were the one to kill Jesus, even though it was Pontius Pilate. But
Yeah. He's a
whatever.
Roman
Oh, he
Roman
was
guy.
being controlled by the Jews. Pontius Pilate would never have hurt Jesus. He's like, I don't want to. And they were like,
Yeah.
oh, but you have to,
Yeah.
they all sound like Jackie Mason.
Right. God.
All of them, they all sound
Uh,
like Jackie Mason. And but like, look at that. The Roman Empire then becomes like the Catholic Church,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, right? I mean, like what, in like 100-year period? I mean,
Well, Justinian, if I remember right, Justinian had like some sort of thing and then turned the Roman Empire into the Catholic Church, kind of merged it with the
I mean,
Catholic
that's
Church.
crazy when you think
Yeah,
about it. It's like
it's crazy.
that's ultimate control. Like you
Yeah,
went from like yeah, religion is mostly a controlling factor. Keep people in line. It also could give people cause. It could give people like something to believe in. But I mean, I always say this. I don't really give a fuck about religion. I don't care if people are religious as long as your religion's not fucking hurting somebody.
yeah, yeah. I said I've said this before. I've known plenty of real religious people that were great people and didn't weren't judgmental or anything. My mom, her pastor, Lutheran pastor, had no problem that had gays, lesbians in church positions.
Did he say that
They
he wanted to play two-hand touch with you?
they did
Hey, Joseph, you want to
no
play
no
King
they
Nautilus in the Sea?
they did a lot of social work. They worked with immigrants. They did social justice issues. It was like kind of what you would imagine like a 1960s civil rights church to be like. That's just not the majority of religion now. I mean,
No,
you can find instances of it.
it's
There
football
are,
fucking stadiums with like
yeah,
billionaires like telling you to like,
yeah,
I don't know.
paycheck deductions and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like I need a jet.
Yeah,
Jesus wants me to have this model of jet. I heard
right.
about this, and this is really cool. It's got extra features. A
Yeah,
disco ball comes down, so I could dance with Jesus in the sky. And by dance with Jesus, I mean three hookers.
yeah.
I could snort coke off their tits. I was thinking just now.
Well,
Like Chick-fil-A has like that's like a very
yeah,
Christian place, but like their ad campaign is like cows, and it's like eat more chicken, like the cow.
yeah, yeah,
How come they never did like a kosher place where it's like a pig and it says eat more Christian children?
yeah, right.
You can drink the blood of Christian children. That's they
Yeah,
most people think Jews do that.
yeah.
Not only on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Pig
Well,
drink.
speaking of
Um,
needing a plane,
well, hold on. So
yeah,
two more episodes of Handmaids. Let's see where it
yes,
goes. So far, this was a really good episode.
yeah,
Ending was great. See where I'm curious. All right, yeah. Speaking of airplanes, Donald Trump was already corrupt to begin
yeah,
with.
yeah.
Somehow has literally jumped the shark of corruption.
It,
Qatar,
yeah,
a country known for funding Hamas, and I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. It's a joke. The whole thing's a fuck.
yeah.
They
He,
basically bought him a $400 million jet to take over
yeah,
the Air Force One. First of all, that's pathetic. how does that make the United States look good? You need to have. I mean, it's not like they made the jet. They
No, but it's just
fucking like
like
Boeing,
you
which might
would
be a problem that
think.
takes care of itself.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The whole thing is just gross. Like
And he's so
and,
gross about it.
and this has been true for a while. There's just like there's no shame.
If
There's
somebody
no,
offers it to me, I'm not going to say no.
yeah,
He literally says that.
yeah. I mean, it's like so nakedly corrupt. Um,
Ridiculous, and I really can't stand it. That's why I really did. I don't pay attention as much as I used to.
no, I used to watch the news pretty regularly. I still like look at the headlines. I read
I mean, I try to
the
keep somewhat, but I can't even keep up with it. I mean, you hear
yeah.
one thing, and then it's like he's taking a jet, and he's like, oh, they offer you something, you take it. It's like,
Well, I think the I don't think it may not be planned, but I think the effect of this is, and I know I'm merging two topics here. You have Trump with his jet, and it's a big clown show, and it's a big deal, and people talk about it and everything. But as he's doing that, you have like ghouls like Stephen Miller saying, "Well, we're going to look at if we can get rid of habeas corpus," you know,
yeah, that's
and
insane.
and that's what happens is you have Trump say stupid shit like, "Oh, well, we're going to buy Greenland or Canada's going to be," and as he's doing that, like ICE agents say they no longer need warrants. You know, I mean, like the more galling thing is the stuff that people aren't talking about. Like getting rid of habeas corpus is like, but it's crazy.
What does
And
that do exactly? I know it's not a good thing to get rid of it, but what is it?
habeas corpus means you have the body. That's like what it means in Latin. You have the corpse. And the idea behind it, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm just my basic layperson's understanding of it is if you are holding someone in custody, if you have their body, then you have to present some evidence. You have to allow them bail if it's reasonable. The idea that they are holding someone in custody accelerates their rights to fight for their freedom.
Right.
You know, if you that's why it's no big deal if there's a bank robbery and they see you in the alleyway with like a dye pack smeared all over your face and money in your pockets, they can arrest you. You know,
Right.
they have a good reason to arrest you.
They're
And
like,
they
we're gonna take you in for questioning. We're
right.
not gonna say you did it, but
But then they have to charge you within a reasonable amount of time or release you. Or they have to do all these things, you know,
so
because
then
they have
what's Stephen Miller's
that
argument? Besides
that they
the fact that
can
he's a
they
custody
can
cop?
take someone into custody and not necessarily charge them and not necessarily have a bail hearing and I mean like that's the whole thing is that like
That's insane.
a cop can and let me redo that example. If there's a bank robbery and you and a couple other people are in the alleyway and no one has there's just you and there's some dollar bills, the cops can briefly detain everyone in that alleyway. You know,
Yeah,
I mean they can. I mean you don't like it if you're innocent, but like they can do that, and that makes
but you're not
sense.
arrested.
No, but they detain you. They have your body for a moment,
But I mean,
and
like, you're not getting like a record from
right.
it.
But then if the deal is if they take you down to the station, they gotta charge you with something. You know, they can take you down for questioning, but that's very limited. We're going to detain you under suspicion.
And it can only be for a certain amount of time too, right?
Yes, right, because at some point a lawyer is going to come and file a writ of habeas corpus. You have the body. What's going on here? You got to file a charge. You got to. So Miller wants to get rid of that,
That's
and
insane.
it's the back. It's like so. It's such a anytime something's in Latin, you know, it's like an old established thing. You know,
It's just insane how people I just
yeah,
can't take it anymore. I really can't stand it. It like makes me like all these dumbasses. I watch these like fucking fascist bootlickers like
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn and fucking Joe Rogan, all
All
these
these
fucking
people that
clowns.
would that like a year ago were saying you should be able to fire guns at federal agents for trying to kick you off public land, or you should that people would like scream Ruby Ridge whenever they saw an FBI. Now they're like, no, we don't. Nobody needs any rights. It's
Yeah,
just
like they're
like
totally cool with like,
it's
or
crazy.
they're just quiet, or they'll do that little like whataboutism or whatever.
Yeah.
Their goal is to keep people's eye off the ball.
So
Like I hate when I see a podcast like, oh, Joe Rogan even realizes it. No, he doesn't.
no.
He'll turn on you in a second. He knows where his bread is buttered.
Yeah. So anyway, that's I think the twin dynamic here is that you have jackass Trump, and I think Trump really just wants a free jet plane. I think he's real simple minded. I think he is a grifter. I think he's
I
100%
think it's the
about.
grifter part. I think it's also like he has business deals with these people.
Yeah,
His fucking attorney general was a lobbyist for them, which is
yeah.
insane. That Pam Bondi lady, that's crazy. That when did she do that?
Mm.
Like when was she a lobbyist for them? That's so nuts. She was like, what was she in Florida? What was her role?
She was attorney general in Florida, and
That's
she's the one
insane.
who Trump gave her a $10,000
Yeah, she
campaign
was like supposedly
contribution.
coming out against him, and all of a sudden she got a literally got a bribe.
Yeah, Trump gave her money and she dropped the case. I mean, it's really gross. And before that, her big thing was trying to get rid of gay marriage because she was such a believer in traditional marriage that she had
Right.
done it 3 times. You
She
know?
loves marriage so much she did it 3 times, you know? Maybe probably will do it a fourth time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like the habeas corpus stuff is the more like if Trump gets a jet, like ultimately at the end of the day, I don't I don't fucking care if he gets a jet plane or not. I mean,
I don't know, I care
the
because it should not be acceptable. He shouldn't be
no,
allowed to this should not be allowed. You
I
can't no, this is a
let
big
me
fucking deal.
I
He can't
I
fucking have this shit. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I mean, I agree in like a moral sense, but I'm just saying, like, it is not gonna. I guess that's a better way to say it. It's not gonna affect me. It's not gonna affect anyone else other than in this kind of like abstract moral way. Like Trump getting a jet plane doesn't necessarily put you at risk in like in any immediate sense, but
It's just fucking aggravating. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, but them
It's
removing habeas
exhausting.
corpus protections could very much screw you over tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be a big deal. So I don't know. It's very tough.
I just can't. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of this shit. That guy Stephen Miller is such a fucking disgusting piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
I just can't. Oh, God,
yeah,
it's just insane how like what a trick it was to get this fucking guy back in the White House. I seriously don't
yeah.
think he won. I think the whole thing's a work.
I
I don't
don't.
believe in I really don't believe in democracy anymore. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think it's a I think it's intentional. I think there's a lot of people that know they are going to benefit from him. They want the chaos. They love the chaos.
Well,
They love it. They love it. I mean,
it is too though. A lot of morons.
what?
It is too though. A lot of morons. Like
Well,
all
yeah, but
those.
a lot of insidious people are able to trick morons.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of there's just a lot of dumb people that fell for the shtick, and it's their own
Again,
fault. But like, yeah, oh yeah,
it's like you literally had improvements on thing during Biden, but you refused to see it.
yeah. Well,
Like things were getting better. What?
this is I see this on Reddit a lot. People talking about like MAGA regret and how you should welcome them back into the. I was like, no,
Nah, fuck that. They'll
these
do it again. They'll
they will
always
do it
do it.
again.
They'll
They will
do
do it
it.
again.
They
The only time
always
they ever get any regret or ever get is when it affects them, and then the minute,
like Serena on fucking
yeah,
Handmaid's Tale.
yes, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. It's awful. And I
They're always gonna vote for a Republican. It does not matter.
right.
They will never.
They'll never be allies. I'll put it that way.
No, they're not your political ally. Anyone that says that, and if there's like a stupid leftist that says that, they're not. Hey, guess what? They're probably getting paid to say dumb shit like
Well,
that. You're not a real leftist.
in a small way, that's kind of probably what doomed the Harris campaign, is that they were counting on these people. They were counting on a whole bunch of Republicans with consciences.
That
And
is bullshit. I think that if that was the case, then that they intentionally lost the fucking. They should all know this game that some of these fucking corporate Democrats do.
yeah,
They do this fucking game where it's like, let's alienate our fucking base. Let's alienate our voters because we know they're going to vote for us anyway, which is not
right.
true. We're going to lose voters. And let's try to get these fucking unicorns because Michael Steele's on fucking MSNBC or, oh, look, the fucking Warhawk's daughter is
Yeah,
endorsing me. What did that do?
nothing.
Nothing. If anything, it made people probably fucking stay home and be
Yeah,
like, I was this, but she's no better. She's hanging out with the freaking warmonger. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's not a good message. I tell you, man, that fucking Democratic convention, the first 2 days were like the first night was
Oh
crazy.
yeah,
The
yeah.
AOC speech, and
Yep.
then all of a sudden it was like after the second night, it just was like, how many fucking Republicans can we get on stage?
Yeah,
And it's like, dude, they're not gonna vote for you.
yeah,
Like the they just made Trump the fucking nominee again. Like
yeah.
they're not.
Right. Yeah.
I
They just
call bullshit. Then I'm like, okay, you really don't want to win, or you're a fucking idiot. It's either one or the other. You're a fucking idiot. You have no control over your campaign.
right.
You have bad political instincts. I'm not talking about her in general. I'm just talking about this. Like, I mean, look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
okay, Al Gore technically won
yeah,
2000 election, but it is a known fact that he allowed the Republicans to make him distance himself from the most successful Democratic president in
yeah.
decades. Bill Clinton got more popular after the blowjob.
He did. I'll tell you. I Obama might have been more popular, but Clinton was very popular.
Clinton
Those are
was
probably the
very
yeah,
popular, and they were able to intimidate Al Gore with the whole family
yeah,
value bullshit. And he fell for it because he had Bob Schrum,
yep,
like shitty, weak, tepid, corporate owned fucking Democratic
yeah,
strategists or whatever who are like, we have to appeal to these people. It's like, no. Well, we don't want to
yeah,
make promises to people that we're not going to deliver on.
yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous. These Republicans are never going to vote for you.
No, it's like Lucy with the football. Never happened.
You have a whole population that needs a reason to vote. Now, I know there's always that bullshit. Like, I also do believe, though, that if the Democrats did say they would do all these things, one, the media wouldn't give them the attention. Right wing media would overlap anything. Right wing
Yeah,
podcasts would overlap anything that people, the message wouldn't get to them. It wouldn't get to them.
yeah.
Like I
That could
said,
be.
look at Harris wanted to expand Medicaid so that elderly people would have it would be easier to get assisted living for your like elder parents who
Yeah, and now those
desperately.
assisted living places are closing down. You know,
Why?
because
Because they're
of
not.
Medicaid cuts.
That's insane.
And a lot of like when Doge came in and canceled contracts, a
So
lot of that was
isn't
for like doctors for medical facilities and shit like
isn't
that.
everything he's doing, these cuts and everything, is so they can do this tax cut this year or next year?
Yeah, I've heard that,
Isn't
but
that
like
like because
it
they
it
basically,
won't.
yeah, you cut the funding and then you could justify and say, look, we don't
Yeah,
need.
I don't know. But from what I understand, that the cuts aren't nearly what they're advertised to be. So
What do you mean?
that Elon will say, "Oh, I cut like 200 billion in funding," and then you go in and look at the numbers, and like some of those are programs that expired like years ago, or
They're
they
not doing
they
anything.
just made it up.
They're just causing problems, and
Yeah,
it's ridiculous that how does he have any right to cut this stuff?
yeah. Well, yeah. Trump is saying he did it, but that's, I mean, it doesn't matter. At
Is
the
it
end of the day, it
true
doesn't
that
matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's all chaos. Is it true though that there's talks of the board getting rid of Elon Musk from Tesla?
Yeah, that's been talked about before. I don't think that they have the willpower to do it. Um,
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, he is like the Michelin man for them. He's their fucking like he's a cart. He's their mascot. Also, in the end.
Even if the real thing that they got to be thinking is, even if they got rid of him tomorrow, I'm still gonna buy a Tesla.
Nah, fuck that.
Like
I still think
like
he'll be connected, so it doesn't make a difference. He just won't be able to be like the I don't know.
it's that brand is toxic now to like
Yeah,
two-thirds of the
I just think it's
population.
hysterical and like, dude, to this day, I keep getting these bot comments every day. Okay, so I did that Elon art, right? And it got really
Yeah,
big. Uh, the other 98 or whatever posted it. And they tagged me, and things got like, man, I don't even know what it's like over 370,000
yeah,
likes, millions of people. But every day I'll get a fucking notification of a comment because since they invited me to collaborate, I get those likes, I get those
right.
comments,
Yes.
but I get the same bot comment destroying property is illegal. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that was like 2 months ago. No one gives a shit anymore. Bot.
Yeah.
Go back to doing like go bot somewhere else. Or
Right.
destroying an American company. I'm not a conservative. I'm no
Right.
Elon fan, but I think it's bad. First of
Yeah.
all, that is not what happened at all. Putting a bumper sticker on somebody's car is not destroying a
No.
car, first of all.
No.
And I think it was a known fact that supposedly this was an insurance scheme that they were lighting their own cars on fire.
I could
Not
see
the
that. Yeah.
they're about the dealerships.
Yeah.
They said that fucking car is dead. Like that fucking Cybertruck. Is that
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
no
it's
one's
the
buying it,
sales have
right?
stopped. Yeah.
I guess that's the only reason why we saw a glut of them was just because those were all like the fucking pre-orders that people did.
Well,
They finally got them, and that's why you started seeing more of them because so many
yeah.
folks bought it. But when they bought it, they thought it was gonna be 50 grand. He lied,
Right.
which is what a shock.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll tell you, I used to see a bunch of them. I don't see a lot of them anymore. Um, it's funny.
I
I
still
went,
see them. I'll tell you this though, when they have a wrap on them, they do look a lot better. Like I saw one that was like all red, and it looked. I was like, oh, I could see that looking a little cooler when it's got the right color, but it's still a very stupid car.
I make fun of them. I think, yeah, I don't have a problem with the way it looks necessarily as much as I
Yeah,
have.
it doesn't make any sense. It is literally the Homer Simpson car from that Simpsons
Yeah.
episode. Danny
Yeah.
DeVito plays his brother because it's like it looked like it was designed by an 8-year-old.
It does. It looks, and it like looks hand drawn, you
Like
know,
it's a truck, but like you can't put anything really in it.
like
Like
some kid got
my
a,
my trunk holds more than that loading thing.
yeah, like they gave a kid a protractor and a pencil and said, make a truck. And that's what it is.
It
So,
doesn't even make any sense. The back, the way it slopes down, it's like,
hmm,
wait, so what am I storing in here? Nothing.
yeah,
Supposedly,
still
yeah,
does.
there's these Chinese companies that are outpacing him when it comes to making
Oh,
cars
yeah.
and shit. But I guess there's like 100% tariff. That's why you'll never see it here.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. The bottom line to me is the brand is dead. Like it will be years before anyone disassociates Tesla and Elon Musk.
I
Um,
unfortunately, like I said, I have it came at the house when I bought it.
oh yeah, Tesla roof.
Yeah, what do you call it? Solar panels, but they weren't.
Yeah,
The woman that owned the house did not buy them from Tesla. She bought it from a company called like Solar City or something, and then
yeah,
Tesla bought them like 2 years afterwards or something.
yeah. That's fine.
And what?
I don't necessarily have any. I think if you buy a Tesla now, you're kind of an asshole. But like I know plenty of, I don't know personally, but like I'm sure plenty of good people bought a Tesla 4 or 5 years ago and they just can't afford a new
Oh
car
yeah,
now.
that's the other
Sucks.
comment. Stupid liberals, you guys were praising him a year ago. It's like, first of all, no, we were not. A year
Yeah,
ago,
I
he
don't
was
think anyone was.
already fully cemented as a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like, what do you? Like I said, these comments are so fucking lame. And then I'll see
yeah,
the account, and it's like a private account with like no pictures, and
yeah.
like, I'm like, go away, block.
Yeah. Ugh.
Stupid. I keep getting them. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get these comments for like the next 10 years because this
Yeah.
post was so big.
uh,
So
well,
weird. Okay. What are okay,
West,
West Virginia
yeah,
legislators who gave themselves explosive diarrhea from drinking raw milk. Okay,
yeah.
what
Now
happened here
I,
exactly?
I will. Okay, this is a weird one because I saw this on TikTok and then I saw a whole bunch of them on TikTok, and then I was like, well, I got to find out if this really happened, and it did. It did happen, but the weird part of it is this happened a few years ago. So a few years ago, the state of West Virginia voted to legalize unpasteurized milk, raw milk. And they did. And at the bill signing, a whole bunch of these Republican legislators toasted their vote with raw milk. And then they were all immediately sickened with explosive diarrhea and stomach issues and shit
But
like
they
that.
wouldn't admit that it was from the raw milk, right?
No, they said they all collectively caught a stomach flu.
Yeah, right.
But they were like, literally, there's this one thing where the guy got interviewed in his office. He was lying on the couch, looked all sweaty and shit, and his hand was over his face and stuff. And he's like, it wasn't the milk, it was a stomach virus. I'm like, right. But anyway, so this all did happened a few years ago. But then I Googled raw milk and just hit news on the Google tabs, and there's been a lot of instances of raw milk getting people sick recently. If you just enter in raw milk and then hit news, well, the first story is about a raw milk advocate that was just
Isn't it like
arrested.
literally like 90% of raw milk consumption lead to sickness? The rate's got to be ridiculously high, right?
I don't know what the rate is, but I know that it's significant. And you
It should not
could
be produced on a mass scale ever. There's a reason why
no.
when Linda McMahon, like, I like my milk the way I like my wrestling
Right.
raw. It's like, bitch, you don't even know what raw milk is.
None of these people drink raw. Robert F. Kennedy probably drinks raw milk, but none of these other people
Yeah,
drink
but he
raw milk.
probably knows the fucking cow that he's getting it from.
That's the other thing is
That's
that
my
like,
good friend Gertie. Gertie's a cow and I fuck it.
well, what we said before is if you're wealthy, you
Yeah, you could buy. You have like a
yeah,
massive freezer, and you could like buy a.
right.
Buy the owner of the company I worked for years ago. He talked about like buying literally like a half a cow that would be just
Yes,
stored
yeah,
and cut up by his like not by
right.
him, and it's like stored in some industrial freezer. He probably has in his like
Ugh.
in his second kitchen or something.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah, you're rich as fuck, and you know the farmer that you're getting your fucking raw milk from.
right.
Like you
So yeah,
trust your farmer supposedly, but like this shit should not ever be sold on a mass scale. It's not. It should be treated like the way people eat like sweet bread
yeah.
or
They said so many things can go wrong with this. I made a
you know
pizza
what sweet
tonight.
bread is, right?
Yeah, it's the internal organs of a
I think it's like cow
animal.
brains.
Yeah, it's I know it's organ meat of some
Or,
type.
or people eat like raw meat. People like there's people out there who eat raw meat. And it's like, dude, you're gonna die. But some people don't. But that shit should not
Right.
be acceptable on a mass scale in any way
No,
whatsoever.
no. But the thing is that like enough people will drink raw milk and be fine that it will catch on, and then you start getting people that drink
We have
raw
a hard
milk and
enough
aren't
time
fine.
to keep stuff that is pasteurized from not being like getting people sick. Like
Yeah,
you think like on a mass scale they'll be able to control raw milk to make sure people don't get sick. It's like first, why the fuck do people want this stuff?
yeah.
Oh, it
So
tastes so good. Does it? I mean, like,
who drinks milk? That's
yeah,
coded
like
for
I mean,
villain.
of
That's
course,
villain behavior.
a weird psychopath like RFK would drink raw milk. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Look at him; he looks like raw milk.
You know who drinks raw milk are the bad guys in Clockwork Orange. You know,
Even they're
those,
like, we drink pasteurized milk. We're not
well,
stupid enough. Me Gulliver got killed
right.
last time.
Well, it is bizarre, but you see all of this shit happening, like with raw milk and people not getting vaccinated, and it's just bizarre. I mean, it really is like the mix of issues that MAGA has adopted is just baffling to me. They like crypto, they like raw milk, they like they don't like drag or trans people. They like ICE being able to search homes without warrants. I mean, it's like no,
They like these things, but then they hate rap, but they have like Fergaccio below.
yeah.
Like,
The only
doesn't make any
consistency,
sense.
yeah, the only consistency is that they want the government to make everyone do what they're doing. You know,
It is a bizarre. It doesn't make any sense
you
anymore.
know.
It's like, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. Like that's the thing about Trump too. It's like you don't have to be a Republican, and I don't think the Republicans give a shit if you are, as long as you vote for them. They don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like,
Yeah.
just vote for us. We don't give a shit. We're
Yeah.
gonna have our politician go on Rogan or Theo Vaughn, and they're gonna be a 3-hour podcast where they
Yeah.
suck each other off,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna watch and go, "Hey, that guy had some good ideas." Theo
Yeah.
Vaughn and Joe Rogan would never send me wrong. They wouldn't do that to me. They're my bros.
Well, I don't know. It is bizarre.
The raw
And you're
milk thing is to this day bizarre because like I didn't know what it was until I moved to Chico. And like I said, I
right.
remember some people's reaction about it was so fucking weird. It was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, why would you drink that? They're like, oh, it's good. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I made fun of your mom. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. It's milky psychopath. Like you
Wow.
said, is a reason in most movies, someone's drinking milk, it's usually a
Yeah.
villain. Like
It is.
even that woman and the girl in fucking Get Out, they show her
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
drinking milk.
Yeah.
Or people are trying to read it because she would eat cereal but not put it in a bowl together.
Right. Right. God. Yeah. I don't know. It is weird. It makes perfect sense given who is kind of in charge of FHA now. Which I mean, Health and Human Services, which is RFK. Um,
Man who likes to swim in a river of shit. Like,
this
so
is
where was
so
this river or
Yeah,
this creek?
that's a good question. He let me look up that. So he took his family swimming, and I think it was for Mother's Day, if I remember right. It
Yeah.
was in Rock Creek. Uh yeah, Rock Creek. Swims in a DC Creek contaminated by sewage. They said a lot of the sewage
If you look at
lines,
that picture.
God, they said a lot of the sewage lines failed in that area. And if you look at it, it just looks kind of gross.
Yeah,
Uh,
I might I say this about like they say the joke like why argue with an anti-vaxxer when you could just wait.
yeah,
I think RFK might be a problem that takes care of itself, but I also think he is the oogie boogie of viruses.
yeah,
There's nothing that could hurt that man
yeah.
except for like not taking his steroid shot or whatever his male
Well, he's another one where he's very wealthy, and he has all throughout his life had access to good food and gyms and stuff like that. I'm sure he's in pretty good shape. And he thinks because of this that anybody should be able to do what he does and be
I mean,
healthy.
that would be
That's
great.
just
I would love to be able to do whatever. I mean, I don't
right.
want to do what
Yeah.
he does, but I mean, I would love to have the access and the ability to,
Yes.
you know, eat good all the time and
Fresh fruits and
expensive
vegetables always
places
available. And yeah,
and be able to have the time to make these like elaborate
right.
meals and
Someone preparing your meals for you, all the advantages he has. Um, I don't, yeah, it's baffling to me how people look at a list of uh things and say, well, I could have I could have decent coverage provided by Democrats or whatnot, but no, I'm gonna wait for RFK's plan. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
RFK is
Uh,
never going to give you a plan because he's a fucking grifter.
nah, and he's like swimming in shit. Like it's so
Literally swimming in
all
shit.
yeah.
He
The national
RFK Jr. boasts how he risked family's health in poisoned creek. Why don't
yeah.
you come in the creek with me? We can't breathe, Grandpa. Grandpa K. He's like,
Yeah.
that's because I'm immune to things. I am the disease.
Well, yeah. Well,
The worm has
that
changed my physiology.
that's the problem is that he's going to become a sandworm. He's going to be
Yeah, some people have already made that image of him, like that cover got him
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
with him on
Um,
the cover, and he looks like a worm. It's like the most ridiculous cover.
yeah.
And then you told me that that's actually the book. I
Yeah,
was
that is
like,
the book.
what? That's never gonna translate on TV.
Well, it's not a problem if RFK does it, but he's dragging his kids. He's encouraging other
Yeah,
people
if
to
he
do
wants
it.
to go swim in a creek and take Cheryl Hines with them, go ahead,
Sure.
have fun, dude. Take all your fucking friends. Take
Yeah.
take Trump. Take Stephen Miller. Stephen
Yep.
Miller's probably like, I pee this stuff out after
Right.
like I'm the one that puts the toxins in the river.
Yeah.
I
It's gross. Yeah.
This okay, so there's a scene in a movie. So they remade National Lampoon's. Well, they didn't really remake it. It was kind of like a loose reboot or whatever.
Retelling or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, this time it was Ed Helms playing Rusty.
Yep.
Growing up and obviously continuing the joke of a different actor playing the kid. If they
Yeah.
made a sequel to that, which they didn't, it would have been funny if they didn't get him and they got a different actor to play him.
That would be good. Yeah.
And then Helms would be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Well, the original two were, I think, Anthony Michael Hall and Juliette Lewis, right?
No, Juliette Lewis is the Christmas one. Anthony Michael Hall is the first one.
Oh, okay. Yes. No, you're
I
right.
don't know
Yeah.
the girl in the first one, and the second one, I don't think I ever seen that kid again. The one who played Rusty in the second one.
Yeah.
I feel like they got someone who kind of resembled him a little bit. They
Yeah. I
kind
think you might be right. Chevy
And then
Chase.
like the girl died of cancer years ago. That she was very strange.
Yeah.
Daughter, I remember that.
The original Audrey.
The second Audrey,
Oh,
National
wasn't
Lampoon
this?
European Vacation
Oh,
Audrey was like
who was? Okay. Yeah. I
was that
thought,
scene when she's eating like all the food.
yeah. Yeah. The sausages. She's like,
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah, they're like shoving it
Um,
in her mouth.
that's funny. All right. So, yeah. In the first one, it was Dana Barron.
I
Yeah.
don't know who that is.
That's the
Um,
first Audrey.
yeah,
Yeah.
the second one, who's Audrey?
European Vacation, it
She
was
died of cancer a long time ago.
Dana Hill.
Keeping with the Danas. I
Yeah.
always thought it was kind of funny though. So we all knew Juliette Lewis was the Audrey in the third one, but Rusty was played by the guy from Roseanne and The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Johnny Galecki.
I didn't recognize him in that. I think it's just the hair.
Yeah,
When you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that's him.
that's funny. Did you know that girl, the second Audrey, also played Max Goof in Goof Troop?
No, I knew she was one of the heads of the two-headed son on Duckman.
Oh, okay.
Remember
Nice.
Duckman, that cartoon?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
no.
he had a
I'm thinking
son.
of Darkwing Duck.
No, Duckman was like an attempt to do like an adult cartoon. Like I think it was on
Yes, I do remember this.
YSGOAT.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah.
I just remember he had a son that had two heads, Duck, and one of them heads was voiced by her. I
Yeah.
don't know who voiced the
Nice.
other head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, RFK, man, it's gross. It
Very.
is. Yeah, it is. He is like a fucking weirdo who wants to push his will onto other people and doesn't really give a shit. Like you should be able to make these. You should be able to slow cook. You should be able to boil soak
Yeah.
beans for 3 weeks.
Right. Right.
Eat them, and you're like, I'm just gonna open up a can of beans.
Yeah. I'll say, like, I RFK is
Just
a
make
weird
sure the
one.
can doesn't have like those fucking BP, whatever the shit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You just do that, and he's like, "Oh, they don't give me any actual power. I'm here to like just be disgusting." I guarantee you, he has no power. I bet he does
Yeah.
nothing. I bet he does. He just does speeches. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't. He was being interviewed about something. He had no idea. He's like, he denied the whole thing. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah. I would think that, like, he probably could just stay at home and stuff would happen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I
I
don't
think
think he
it's
needs
like
to do
this. I
anything.
think it's a role similar to what's his face, Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Did Ben Carson do anything during that
No, he
first Trump?
just slept
He
through
bought
every meeting.
like a $30,000
Yeah.
desk, and then I think he slept in it.
Well, yeah.
Give me this one so I could just sleep under it.
Oh, yuck.
That guy was comatose for like 3 decades.
Yeah. He was weird. Like, he's another interesting one where he was legitimately a very gifted surgein. He's not a dummy.
Yeah, but he's probably like a crazy Christian
He
belief
is.
that just led to like right wing big
When
grifter.
when I taught at college, the state of Florida bought like 1 million copies of his book. I think it was called Healing Hands or something like that. And it was basically his life story about how he grew up. I think he grew up in like Caprini
He
Greens or
shows up.
whatever.
He's in a movie. Oh, that's right. He's in one of those people who made like Dumb and Dumber and stuff like that. Those brothers.
Yeah. Oh, the
He's
brothers' names.
Cohen, not Cohen. They made like something about Mary. They made Dumb and
Yeah.
Dumber.
Yeah,
They,
I
they,
know I don't know their names,
they
but
made this one movie, I forgot, where it's literally Siamese twins, and it's Greg Kinnear and fuck, Matt Damon playing
oh,
Siamese
okay.
twins. It's really
Yeah.
stupid. And he's in it. He plays
Oh,
himself. Because I think he was famous for like separating, I think Siamese twins at the head or something like that.
something like that. He was a very, like I
He
said,
was a
he's a very
brain surgeon, right?
talented. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people, that's why people make jokes and say, like, did he accidentally
Operate on his own
on
brain.
himself and missed a thread? He was like, oops, I guess I don't need that
I think
anymore.
very smart people can have real shitty ideas, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And then they do, and then they're not doing that anymore, and they're doing this grifting shit, and they get
yeah.
their asses kissed by people, and they just
Ugh.
keep eating their bullshit. What was that? You ever see those people who like will drill a hole in their head?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Well, it could be a whole bunch of different things, but like was it cranectomy? Not a cranectomy. But yeah, they sometimes they do it to release pressure in their head, you know?
Movie. What movie was it? It was like a recent one, I feel like, where like the villain would be drilling the back of their head constantly.
Oh, we just saw it. Wasn't that in Severance?
No, it was a movie.
I don't remember.
I mean, like a villain that drills holes in their own head.
God. Mm.
Burt Wonderstone, Jim Carrey
Oh.
drilling a hole in his head. Oh, that's right. His character does that. That's
Oh yeah.
he's in that movie with there he's not the main star though.
Yeah, yeah.
Pharrell is like a magician or something. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
Well,
a movie where the guy he's like that doesn't even matter. I'll
yeah.
figure it out. I'll forget the
Well,
minute we're done talking. I'll just move on to something else.
yeah.
Ooh, like the whole conversation just vanishes immediately from my head. It's just like nothing.
Distracted by a laser light, laser
So,
pointing.
yeah, like a fucking cat.
Nice. Well, yeah. Anyway, that
Yeah, I miss my cat doing that.
yeah.
It only, I think he was fucking with me though. I think he was like, I know this amuses him because he would do it for a bit, he'd go crazy, and then he would just stop. He didn't give a shit
Yeah.
anymore. And I'm like
Well,
wondering if he knew, like, yeah, I know what this is.
you could know.
I'm doing this for you, but I'm tired now. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I did a little song and dance. You're like, you think you have some power in me with this little red light, but I'm not falling for this shit anymore. All right. Well, on that's how Trump voters are.
Yeah. Well, we will have a full episode next. We'll probably finish up Andor. We will have the next to last Handmaid's Tale to talk about. We will have another Last of Us to talk about, and we will have another dozens or so of Trump crimes.
Yeah, how do you top the 400 million? I mean, this guy did
He,
coins, he did
he's
crypto
got his work
coins.
cut out for him.
I
Yeah.
like, what could he do? It'd be a great story to follow up next week. RFK and like severely ill from like some intestinal
Yeah, that
parasite.
would be a good one. Yeah.
Where's RFK? Why is RFK not his usual
I
pink
mean,
red and now he's green purple?
because he shit out 7 feet of tapeworm so far, and it's only 10 a.m.
Do you think like when he gets tapeworms, the worm in his brains,
You
like
gotta move along, buddy. It's
what?
you gotta move along, buddy. This is my place.
I'm the one in charge.
Yeah. Ugh.
Wasn't the joke that worm died?
Yeah, the worm in his brain died, and he's got this dead worm in there, and they don't want to remove it because it'll hurt his brain more.
They don't want to do it, remove it because they think it's funny. They're like, he has like a literal permanent hole.
Yeah,
Like,
so gross.
it's a hole.
I would if I knew I had a dead worm in my brain, I'd never be able to fall asleep. I would lie awake all night
You
thinking,
keep getting visited by the ghost worm
yeah.
in your brain.
If I went to the doctor and they said I had a dead worm in my brain, I would not leave that doctor's office until they did something about it. They were like,
Yeah,
that's,
like the no. You
yeah.
just said I have a dead worm in my brain. The
Right.
fact that you even just said worm in my brain, like
Right.
creepier and
Let's,
more macabre. That it's macabre now. That there's a dead worm in my
yeah.
fucking skull.
Let's
Like,
review some treatment options. Like,
yeah, like what are we doing here? We need to yeah, treatment. Yeah, I think we need to. Is there a pill I could take?
right. Is there,
Should
yeah.
I eat soil? Should I
What
start
are,
eating dirt?
could I take heartworm prevention? Would that do
Yeah, is
anything?
there,
Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is there something, is there like a ivermectin that's actually
yes.
for adults and, kills?
Yeah. I can like expel the worm through my nose.
Oh,
If I
God.
sneeze really hard. Well,
Oh, shit. Okay. We'll wrap this up in a second.
okay.
Isn't it like, okay, so like tapeworms? This is what I heard.
Yeah.
The way they get rid of them sometimes,
Hmm.
I don't know where it comes out. I don't know if it's the
Oh,
urethra.
I know where it comes out.
Nightmare, but they get it out or something like that. And supposedly what they do is it gets it to come out a bit
Yeah.
each day. You have to put tape on it. So it like I've heard about
God.
this. You literally have to like and you can't pull on it.
Right, because you'll snap it. Snap it.
But they have to like pull it on the other and quickly tape it. And then it just
That's
keeps
so
coming out. I'm
awful.
like, oh God.
Fuck.
I want
Life
to
is so
fucking
horrifying.
what?
Life is so horrifying.
Yeah. And that's not including all the other parasites that are in our
Yeah.
body.
Mm.
You're like, you're worried about a tapeworm, dude.
Yeah.
You got a gopher in your belly.
People people over there in Italy got tomato sauce coming out of their eyes. They contracted that pizza bola virus. It's like,
Mamma mia. They got the beefaroni coming out of my nose and not beefaroni coming out of my nostrils.
we got the pizza bola virus.
Beefaroni shot right out of my nose. My schnozola. Eating the
Yeah.
pizza bola.
Yuck.
Get tomatoes. Yeah. They got infection by ragu. Oh, I gotta talk about that tomorrow.
Mm.
I do. I gotta talk about the how we missed out on the Pope. I forgot. I had a joke
Oh yeah.
too. Fuck, I have to. I know I wrote it down. Let's
Yeah.
see if I think I wrote this one down about the Pope, like how we're. I figured I could talk about it one more time, and no one's gonna remember who Pizza
Right.
Bowl. So, um, no, I guess I
No.
didn't. I was just gonna bring up about how. Oh, that's it. This is such a dumb joke.
Hmm.
Here we go. I'm gonna end it on this.
Okay.
Maybe I'll say it tomorrow night.
All right.
So I was like really depressed and disappointed.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why is because I found out that the Catholic Church did not go along with a guy named Parabista Pizzabola. We missed out on years of lame, hacky jokes on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Um, Now, the thing is, though, his name would not be Parabista Pizzabola. They would never use that. They probably would have called him Papa John.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
It's so stupid.
Okay.
Pizza Bowl, Parabista Pizza Bowl. That's ridiculous. That's too stupid of a name. What are we gonna call him? Papa John. Opa John.
There you go.
Worst pizza.
Yes.
It doesn't even taste like anything.
Nah, just say it's I don't know what it tastes like. It's
You
like
know what?
dough and
I went over someone's party years ago, like neighbors and Roger,
yeah.
kids his age or whatever, and they got it right away. So I ate it the second it showed up.
Yeah.
It was hot, and that's fine. I don't care. Most pizza,
Well, and they also have that garlic butter dipping sauce for the crust, which is nice.
yeah, that's okay. But
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. You got to eat just consume it right away. Don't.
I heard before we wrap up, I was reading today, as I often do, and
An
there
ability
was
you keep bragging about.
there was a thing called Colorado style pizza. And have you ever had Colorado style pizza?
No, but I know of like Chicago and Detroit.
Yeah,
And,
in Chicago, Detroit, and
yeah, what's
New
Colorado style
Haven.
pizza?
It is a regular. It's like a Chicago pie. It is. They take a whole wheat crust that has honey cooked in it. and it's a braided crust. And then they put sauce and cheese in it, and they sell it by the pound. And it's because it's like a Chicago pie. And then they serve it with a side of honey for dipping.
I've never seen that before.
I'd never heard of it. Look, I actually do
Colorado thing.
Colorado style pizza, and there's a whole Wikipedia page devoted to it.
I figured that they would just put like green chili on it or something.
Yeah, I did too. Because like sometimes,
yeah, look at that. That's weird.
Yeah, sometimes they'll say, I'll bet you it's good.
I want to have at least once. Where can I get
that? There's a couple famous places, but like sometimes like Hawaiian pizza isn't really Hawaiian pizza. It's just a few toppings that are like reminiscent of Hawaii. Yeah,
well, isn't Hawaiian pizza just fucking?
I thought it was just ham and pineapple. Yeah,
it's still the same pizza, but when you get to like Detroit, Chicago, or whatever the fuck this thing is, it's a different thing.
Yeah,
it's not. It's pizza.
Detroit quote. Pizza, which I love.
I forgot. There's another state that has a pizza where they don't cook it. I saw some TikTok. It was like, I don't know, they were like in Connecticut or someplace, and they went there, and it's like a famous place. But
there's a place
like they don't cook the cheese or anything.
There's a place in New York, not New York City, but like in a suburb, where they make a cold cheese slice, which is a regular heated up pizza, but they dump cold mozzarella on it, so you get like a mix of cold and hot.
That doesn't sound bad, but that's like
that sounds delicious,
right?
It's what?
That's a regular slice, though.
Yeah,
this was more like not say it looked like this, but it looked more like a Sicilian or something like that. This one I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, the one I'm talking about is like a regular New York slice.
It is basically just throwing
cold mozzarella.
That actually sounds like it could be pretty good.
I'll bet you that's real good.
The pizza though itself has to be super hot, and then
the pizza I think the only way they serve it is like you go in there and you get a slice. They put the slice in the oven, take it out of the oven, then dump cold cheese on it, and then that's what you get.
I know, you think like it's like why, but then I think about it, I'm like, that's actually probably
sounds fucking delicious.
It does sound like it could be pretty good.
This Colorado pie, I don't think it would be my favorite pizza, but it looks good. It looks good to me.
I like, where do you get it? Colorado style pizza near me. Bojo's Lone Tree. Where the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Bill's New York Pizza. I never even heard it.
Yeah.
No, you know, the thing is, like, my son's never gonna eat that shit.
I don't know.
He would never. No. He would never eat this. He has no. He just likes the regular Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Well,
that's right. There's no shame in that. But
he would see that and be like, no, this does not interest me. This is like another animal. I'll eat it because I'm a big fat monster.
Well,
I'm literally gonna eat this blue Mike.
Go eat one of those pizzas, and then next week tell us how it is.
Haven't shit in 3 days. I've somehow have shit and have not shit at the same time. It's very confusing.
I feel like I've shit, but it has not left my body.
All I do is squirt shit in my pants and nothing in the toilet.
Well, hopefully it's not that, but
sharts.
Yeah. All right, so
sharts.
Eat that. That's got to be our next. We'll talk about that next week.
You too. You go eat that as well.
Yeah, I'll track one down.
You gonna track one down?
I made a pizza tonight. It was delicious. I'll bet you I can recreate a Colorado style pizza.
What is it again?
It's a whole. The big difference is it's a whole
they
wheat
braid
crust.
it. I see that.
Yeah,
it's whole wheat though.
It says Colorado style pizza was invented by Chip Bear in 1973 in Idaho Springs, Colorado.
Yeah, braided whole wheat crust sweetened with honey. That sounds pretty good. Doesn't sound like a pizza thing, but I don't care. Generous amount of whole milk, mozzarella cheese, and sweet tomato sauce. This crust is designed to hold a large amount of toppings, and the pizza is typically sold by the pound. So weird.
By the fucking pound.
This fucking pizza cost me $400.
Give me 3 pounds of pizza.
Hey, give me 3 pounds. Yeah, that's so weird. Like,
well,
that's so stupid. Why would you charge? Like,
yeah, that part sounds gimmicky, but
So by the
But yeah,
pound.
there's a lot of pizza that doesn't remind me of like pizza per se. Like honestly, Chicago style pizza, that to me doesn't seem, I don't think of that as pizza. I think of that as like an Italian dish or something like
It's like
that.
a
It's like a casserole or
pie
something.
slash like casserole.
Yeah. Like in my head, the only real pizza is the standard New York style
Yeah.
pizza,
Just
and
saying.
or maybe that New Haven one that's kind of burnt and charry. And when I lived in New Jersey, there was something called Trenton style pizza, which was like a tomato pie. It's very like a pizza, but with a dusting of
I
Parmesan.
remember going to, I never had it in Chicago until I went to like Uno. And I was
Yeah,
like, I'll tell you though, it's good. It's not so
it's very
fun.
good.
I tell you that.
Yeah.
I think it's like literally the most fattening thing on the planet.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's somehow like, hey, pizza, I think like the average, like a normal size pizza, I think is like 300 to 400 calories.
Yes,
And I think a small, like a big spoonful of Chicago style pizza is like 12,000
it
calories.
is. It is
Just one
equivalent
spoonful.
to eating 18 sticks of butter and washing it down with a glass of buttermilk. I mean, it is,
With sauce.
yeah.
With like, yeah, yeah.
It's like the Alfredo shakes I used to get.
Alfredo shakes. Yeah. Back when you were 1,200
Yes,
pounds.
they're
Well,
delicious,
Joseph
but
lost his weight
they
by cutting to small size.
right. They're delicious, but you gotta eat and enjoy them in moderation. You can't have
Alfredo shakes sounds so disgusting.
you can't come home from school every day and get yourself an Alfredo shake.
Here's my Alfredo shake. The doctor says you're not allowed to have one since you had your fourth heart attack.
Right. It's funny too because the withdrawal from that beverage is called the Alfredo shakes, where you
Which is somehow worse than the worst thing ever. Like people who like are trying to get off heroin are like,
yeah,
oh man,
right.
feel bad for that guy.
People get on heroin, kind of like people on heroin get on like
To get off
methadone,
to get off
right?
the
People on Alfredo shakes get
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
heroin
This
to
is
like
actually where heroin is a medicinal
right. Yeah.
properties that
You can get a prescription for it in three
you make a
states.
you use up you get rid of a problem by creating a much bigger problem.
Right.
Well, also that think about this too, that you get the heroin right off,
Mhm.
and then it's also a good way to lose all the weight that you gained
Yes.
from having
Yes.
all those Alfredo shakes. The withdrawal from the Alfredo shakes is literally the same name. So,
Also the Alfredo shakes.
yeah, yeah. Well, wait, Alfred. No, that's
Alfredo
called
shake.
the Alfredo shakes.
Right.
The
Yes.
Alfredo shake doesn't have a the in front.
No, nor does it have a plural. It's an Alfredo shake, but you drink too many of them. You drink a
Right, yeah,
lot of
you don't have an
Alfredo
S section.
shakes,
Yeah,
right? Then you get the Alfredo shakes. It's
very confusing.
yes, it's a linguist's nightmare. It's a linguist. So,
Yeah.
all
Fucking
right, well,
severe heart problems that you're gonna have there. Your
um,
cholesterol is a little through the roof. Your cholesterol tastes like Alfredo.
we we've recently had to begin measuring your cholesterol in the metric system because we
You sweat, it looks like those Play-Doh things, you know, when you're squeezing the
right.
hair Play-Doh, your pores are just like
Yes.
just thin, thick lines coming out of your body. It's so disgusting. I think you'd probably die from that. Like the human body.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. All
Well,
right.
I'm
Well, that was
famished.
fun.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
grab a
now I really
sandwich.
want this. Fuck, I want at least a piece of it.
Oh yeah. Just get a pound. Just get a
I wonder if I go there. Hey, can I just get a half a pound of just want to try it.
it's like ordering
Okay,
at a
that's
deli. It's like
$9. $9 for that? No.
Ugh.
It's like a stupid price.
Wow. All right. All right.
Not really. Like I just feel like you made this up.
No.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
created the
it's
you look
like
at
I
the
feel like I don't know
Wikipedia.
reality anymore. I'm like, what is this exotic thing?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will try to.
Good. Yeah.
I come back. I'm like, I gained all my weight back and more just from 1 pound of this.
Right.
It's like very dense.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
like
right.
those.
Well,
All right.
what?
I was gonna say it's like those sponges that you put in the sink and they expand to 80 times.
I was gonna say you watched Futurama, right? Remember that
Yeah,
little thing that was Leela became like Leela's pet or something, and then he found out he
Yes,
was
yeah.
like an. I loved it. He was part of like some ancient race that like were super beings.
Yeah.
He acted like a dumb little like monkey or something, but then you find out he's like these
That's
like
funny.
yeah. But there's an episode where he takes like a shit. And it's like a
Oh,
little
okay, yeah, yeah.
black ball, but it's like the most dense thing like in the universe or something. And it weighs like, I don't know. I just think about like that's what that would be like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on
All
that
right.
note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And I got the Alfredo shakes. And you still going on about?
That.
All right, bye. Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share. And if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT.